Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I want to say some thank yous, and I have to start off at Iowa State. I think the hardest thing for me was leaving the great people at Iowa State who took a chance on me. I want to say thank you to Jamie Pollard, our athletic director. Man, at 36 years old, he gave me the keys to build a football program and said, we want to do something that hasn't been done here before.
Second down and goal. Herbert, wide open, touchdown, rookie. Omarion Hampton, welcome back. Vidal back in the backfield on third down, and Herbert is going to drop it to him. Big play. Vidal. In a foot race. Zach Bond knocks him out. Hurts. Picked off. Intercepted, and now the ball's out, and Hurts ends up with the ball in his hands. He fumbles. Chargers ball.
You can tell when they're locked in. And, I thought their prep, that's what won the game for us. You go out there, you see between the lines, but what you don't see is the preparation and all the behind-the-scenes work that goes into a game plan against a team that runs a lot of different actions like Creighton does. And, I thought our activity level was really good early, much better than the previous game where we only had one deflection in the first 9 minutes. And that's what got us out in transition and ultimately got us a rhythm going. And, defense to hold that team under 19%, I think it was 18.5% in the first half. And, just really kept our foot on the gas and then just kind of protected the lead in those last 4 or 5 minutes.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. What's up, DB?
How are we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. How are you?
It's good. Shane, what are you on delay with the Hoiberg audio? That's pretty good. Appreciate that.
No problem.
We appreciate that. We'll get some Nebraska hoops talk today as we'll talk to COATNEY. Pretty early.
Yeah, 7:40.
7:40. I think he's at a conference.
Oh.
He might be at like
working?
Like his regular job conference. I think people forget he's
got a day job?
Well, like an 8 to 1:30 or an 8 to 10:48 or
kind of a real job.
He's got like a real job. So
if he's only working till 1:30, it's not that real of a job.
He tells me I need to come see him because I have a fan that works with him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to meet this one person in the state of Nebraska.
Go hang out
with
your fan.
I don't know about that. Don't really want to do that.
Doesn't really seem like you like hanging out with very many people, DB.
No. Tulsa's gonna stretch me. No,
yeah,
I did it probably 4 or 5 years ago. Spoke to a group.
What is that, Friday?
So the event is Saturday. I leave Friday.
Okay.
I mean, I'm almost in the air as long as I'm
in Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's probably for the best.
Yeah, I don't mind.
You don't want to run into Sylvester Stallone down there causing any turf wars or anything.
No, but I'm just telling you, I'm going to catch up on that series.
Tulsa King.
Yeah.
I saw first season. It wasn't bad.
It was better than I thought.
Yeah, it seemed like it was going to be very bad, and it was actually not.
Because I don't know, man. I probably have to have a little resolve. It's weird when I do that with TV shows, but like I said, I can make a game out of anything. I'm pretty disappointed in the first 2 shows of season 2 of Landman.
Yeah, I've heard not great.
Yeah, and maybe it'll change. And it's been a while since I went back to revisit it from the early season 2. I had to watch it a month ago or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But
wasn't feeling it.
Just kind of over the ex-wife and the daughter.
Yeah,
so
I heard they were doing a lot.
I need to, and maybe it'll change. I don't know. I haven't talked to anybody about it, so I don't know. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Hey, Austin, are you available Friday?
Who? Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need for him to I think I'm only talking for like 45 minutes, so maybe the clips won't be necessary, but I'd like to do a couple of things potentially.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll use stuff that he's already cropped, so it won't be anything.
Shouldn't be too hard.
Hey, can you go to the minute 45 mark of USC in the third quarter? No.
Not going to do that?
No. No, I'm not. I don't think so.
Well, that's all right. How about, I think it's, what time is it? 7:04, and I think Jalen Hurts just had another turnover.
Yeah. Do you know the amazing thing about that?
What's that?
I mean, absolutely amazing.
What's that?
And I didn't bury you like I wanted to because I don't do you like that, but I remember you told me that guy couldn't win a Super Bowl. But
Yeah.
I didn't even win a Super Bowl. He played well in both
He did.
of them, and he was an MVP.
He did, yeah.
Can't believe it was the same guy I watched last night.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I mean, horrifically bad. And he's been subpar all season.
Yeah.
Horrifically bad. And do you know who's aged on me? I used to, and I've
Like
done
grown
this.
on you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Aged.
I didn't know if you meant
I
like
don't know. Maybe
I didn't know if you meant like they had aged in front of your eyes or
well, that too.
Okay.
I probably worded that poorly, but see, I've never really disliked Aikman. He's actually pretty good.
Oh, sure.
But I've never like paid him early. You know, people used to hate, I think, early, and I'm like, I don't really get it.
For guys that people think are bad, he's not nearly.
He is significantly better than Romo and 10,000 times better than Brady.
Oh, yeah.
And I get it. Like I listen to Gannon does a weekly show during the week, and I get former quarterbacks are tough on the position. Orlovsky's tough, like they just are traditionally. But Aikman was doing all he could to not crush Jalen Hurts, but still get the point across.
And honestly, it's not like Herbert was playing a lot better.
No, but in Herbert's
But he wasn't
defense,
Yeah, he's got the broken hand.
and they couldn't protect him.
Yes, and he was running for his life a lot.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with.
But it's not like there was stellar quarterback play at all in
No.
that game. It was pretty rough.
Turns turning it over.
It was
but
pretty rough out there.
I don't have any problems really with what Herbert did, and he made throws when he needed to.
Yeah, and I mean, he kept it in it with his legs. Like he picked up a lot of first downs with the legs. I didn't have an issue. I mean, especially not turning it over as much as Jalen Hurts did, which certainly.
Well, I was joking. It's not so funny when I told you a couple weeks ago. I'm like, Brosmer's playing quarterback in the NFL, right?
That's a guy nobody liked in college.
We've long talked about why is it so hard. I mean, I've asked Cynthia. I'm like, why is it so hard to be just a good backup quarterback? And she said, well, how many good quarterbacks are there? And I was like, isn't that weird?
Yeah, I don't think we have enough good starters, much less backups.
Yeah, so not surprised to hear Phillip Rivers working out with the Colts. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, their only healthy quarterback is, Anthony Richardson's out. Obviously, Daniel Jones is out. They're going to bring up Bryce Ripien from the practice squad, maybe. I mean, what are we doing here?
Not to be confused with Rippin.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Ripien?
I don't know. I know Mark is ripping, but I don't know about Bryce.
Ripping it?
Yeah, he's spitting it, ripping it.
Yeah.
Let that thing fly a little bit.
That thing wet.
That thing wet.
DBJ, consistent as always, with positivity to start in the chat. Barthel is maybe Texas running back coach. This dude lives for.
Didn't we do this last year?
Listen, I'm just going to get this out of the way because he can't even hide it very well. EJ's gonna want to be taken care of.
Sure.
Right, so whatever happens with that, here we go. Here, see, like, let's face it. When we talk like this, that means you're assuming we're right. Let's face it. EJ stayed because of Dana, not because of his position coach. Who's telling you this stuff? Like, what do you mean? Let's face it. When you start with those kind of suppositions, it elicits the kind of response it gets. What do we have to face?
Apparently, this truth that no one else knows.
Oh, all right. Well,
I'm
going to stop individually trying to throw people. We just can't have nice things. Like, why would you tell me?
Hey, let's face it, DB.
Somebody did that the other day on social media, and he goes, well, let's be real. And I go, as opposed to what?
Yeah.
Like, when that changes the tone of the conversation that we can have. You know what I mean?
It comes in with a level of assumption.
Now Dixie may be closer to being accurate.
I mean, so far, yeah.
It's pretty bad.
No way around that.
Hey, so did you have to twist DeMARINIS' arm, or is he feeling okay? Because I don't want him, like, having to gut this out. Does he feel good?
He'll be fine.
He texts fine.
Yeah.
He seems like he's feeling better. He told me, I think it was in the group chat, seemed like
He texts normal.
He had a good weekend last weekend or a couple weeks ago where he started feeling quite a bit better.
Okay.
So I think he's in the neighborhood.
Maybe we'll throw a couple of softballs and talk volleyball.
Oh, it's that. We got to start volleyball.
But we got to get into what's going on with Creighton.
Third longest winning streak in the country, Creighton with volleyball.
What's that?
Third longest winning streak in the country, Creighton volleyball.
Yeah, I know.
2 of the top 3 belong right here in the state of Nebraska. And you got Kentucky sandwiched in there for no good reason.
And then the other one, the longest winning streak is Nebraska basketball.
Longest winning streak in men's basketball is Nebraska basketball.
How about 2 top 25ers for once?
How about 17-0 combined?
Yeah, we'll talk to.
I mean, shoot.
COATNEY. What's the national day? I always retweet his national.
TK says, "Let's keep it a buck right now. Creighton's ass."
So is that what the kids say? Because
that's what Cam Ward said.
That's the second time, and what you call it, have been saying the ASS have been saying it all week. So
they asked.
Cam must have brought that back.
I think so. It was a
we
thing
had
for a while.
At the stream yesterday referring to the Jays as that, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's coming back. And all thanks to Cam. Cam's just fortunate he didn't get beat by Shedeur Sanders on Sunday. That'd have been a bad look.
I mean,
even though the Browns roster is significantly better.
It's a pretty bad look for a lot of the NFL anyway, because that dude, I said this at the time, wasn't a 5th round draft pick.
So, you're taking the opportunity to prop up Shedeur?
I said this at the time. Like, I felt bad for him.
So do you think he played well?
I think he played better than a lot of guys that were
Max Brosmer?
That were drafted significantly ahead of him.
Yeah.
He's certainly playing better than Dylan Gabriel, who was drafted in the 3rd round. You could make the argument he's playing better than Cam Ward, who's taken 1st overall. Like, he's not a perfect quarterback by any means. And I would have even understood if he fell to the 2nd, maybe 3rd round. But he only fell to the 5th because people were annoyed by his dad or his whole thing or whatever. And he's not a 5th round quarterback. Mm-hmm. We have ignored, this was my real issue. We have ignored much more pertinent issues with quarterbacks and been like, nah, it's going to be fine.
DPJ, that's because one decision was really, really hard and the other one wasn't. So I'm not gonna face. He has no idea what he's talking about.
Don't matter to me.
No, or me either. Shedeur. I just go by the spelling. I can put the E before the U.
So how do you say Dion's name? Deion?
It's just Dion.
Deion?
Yeah.
Do you know, I saw a clip of him the other day. That's not how his name is spelled?
Yeah.
I love it.
He just made it up?
That's the whole joke.
This is the first time I heard it.
Yeah, I'm a big Sanders guy.
I know you are, but like I had no idea. He's like, no, my birth certificate is Dion. He's like, it's from Old McDonald. It's EIEIO. And I was like, listen, that takes some incredible stones to say that out loud and be like, because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
My sister's weird like that. She just changed the spelling of her name in high school just because.
Severe did too, didn't he?
Well,
allegedly.
Who knows? The dude.
This is what he told me. He might be lying to me. I don't know.
There were so many Michaels
in
his class.
So he changed the spelling.
That's plausible.
It is. I get that, especially because he went to a Catholic high school or Catholic school. So there's going to be a lot of Michaels in there.
Yeah. It's like Zoe talking about the kids in her class. There's a lot of
Peytons.
A lot of the similar names.
I heard Peyton is one of the big names now, girls and boys.
I don't know. I don't know any.
You don't know any Peytons?
Well, I do, but
okay.
He's older. I know Peyton Wayne. Very good.
Maybe I'm outdated on my kid's name information.
Very good family friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. I heard about lots of kids.
Maybe I'm thinking of Leighton. I don't know. There's lots of names with GHs in them.
Has a Leighton.
Oh, he does.
Leighton is extremely popular.
I feel like there's a lot of GH names these days.
Yeah. Yeah, Leighton is
a lot going on there.
A little cutie pie. Yeah, that
not that I have anything wrong with anybody's kids' names. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
There's a lot more GHs in the names than there used to be.
Because you'd start with who for yours? Your brand spanking new son or daughter.
Oh, if I had to name a kid,
your mythical
Maximus Decimus Meridius right out the gate, baby.
You're like these parents I used to talk to all the time. Just make sure your kid can live up to the name, okay?
Yeah, I mean, the Baileys are lucky their kids were good at stuff because Champ and Boss is a lot to live up to.
Yeah, well, I know a Champ, but it's his nickname.
Yeah,
it's Davis.
I think Champ is Bailey's legal.
Yeah. Government?
Yeah, and then Boss is also little brother Boss Bailey.
So what's the expectation level of like a Cavassier smoke? Hennessy Jones.
I think the world is your oyster. I do not have any
Just ask the question.
stereotypes that I would like to portray right now based on what I think those names would be.
Did we say the belated congratulations to TK for his first conviction?
Oh, what's funny is because he texted us that. I almost said the exact same thing
that I did,
but I was like, I don't want to be.
I was driving. I felt kind of stinky about it.
I didn't want to be a jerk, and so I was like,
but I was.
Yeah, this is reverse usually, because normally I have no.
Kind of like the Suave has kids comment. I didn't, but I was gonna text the exact same thing, but I didn't want to be a jerk. So what do you say? I'm just curious.
I'm saying like I thought it was a little aggressive in the moment.
Oh,
I almost said the exact same thing though. Well, I was gonna ask, were they actually guilty? Because getting a conviction if they're not a celebratory situation there. And you go, I hope he was actually guilty, which I thought was even a little further than mine.
Wait, was that? I mean, it made me feel a little ick after I hit send.
I thought it was, I expect the best out of our boy.
Didn't I say congratulations? I don't know, man. TK's kind of a throat slitter.
I think he cares a lot about justice.
Oh, I want justice.
So I think he would, do his best to. I don't think he would have brought charges if it weren't an actual guilty person.
I think he would have done what the DA told him.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, hey, we got one. It's meth related. You appear to be an aficionado and not on the intricacies of what happens when you do meth.
Okay.
Remember, TK
educated yes, he did about all the different ways you can use meth.
Yes.
All I heard was TK meth aficionado, and I was like, I don't think that's right.
So maybe they're like,
you're our guy.
Got one. TK's like, I got this.
He said, I don't prosecute unless I think they're guilty. That's fair.
Not even when I watch Law and Order. That's not always true.
It's possible that Law and Order may be a fictional television
what
program.
About Criminal Minds? Is that not?
Also not. I don't know.
Loosely based on true stories. What are we talking about?
Loosely.
Oh. So Lincoln Lawyer's kind of a farce.
Almost everything is inspired by true events, if you think about it. Like something happens in most people's lives that make them think of some creative endeavor.
Bet you're a lot of fun at parties. I appreciate you ruining that.
I'm a ton of fun at parties.
God.
You can't handle the truth.
You think I don't understand that it's loosely?
I don't know. You just use Law and Order to compare to a real life prosecutor, so I'm not really sure. I don't know how far I need to pull that string back for you.
You're on a roll. You're on a roll. You and the old brilliant DBJ.
I'm just saying. I was being nice. I was being nice to TK.
It's gonna be one of them days.
No, I'm always nice.
Guess we gotta buckle up.
I got coffee today. I'm I'm feeling a little.
And you have an actual.
I know. I got
kind of a. Is it? I should know the difference. I forget. Is it quasi or pseudo? Whatever breakfast.
I think
adult breakfast. It loosely resembles an adult breakfast.
Quasi is what you want to do there. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Moto.
No, it's quasi.
Him too.
Didn't know you're a big Notre Dame guy.
Well, apparently I'm an apologist.
You're a Golden Domer, Golden Homer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you gotta understand though.
Sorry.
We're doing way too much already. Yeah, I couldn't muster the fake outrage that they weren't playing in a bowl game. I couldn't care less. I'm so mad they're such babies. And I was like, oh boy.
Here we go.
Have you not seen our fan base after a loss?
Have you not seen our fan base after a win? That's if you want to see.
It just did not. I just was like, when it happened, I was like, oh my God. That is so what's wrong with college football. Like, because I look at Freeman and I look at the program he runs and I try to look at some of the players that I know or what guys like Xavier Watts said. I'll trust his judgment that him not playing in the bowl game sends a bad message to kids. I think how he coaches his team and runs his program sends the message that he's trying to convey. That did not ruffle my feathers.
Yeah, if there's
same as I wouldn't want a Nebraska team to take a bowl bid at less than 500. Like it's whatever. It's just kind of how I feel.
If there is anything that's wrong with college football, I don't think Marcus Freeman's very high on that list.
What's that?
I said if there's something wrong with college football, I don't think Marcus Freeman's very high on that list.
Yeah.
I think there's
What's that?
plenty of other guys that could be. But and there's plenty of stuff within
Dixie, what's he going to do with that brand new house he built? I suppose he could sell it.
To who? Who is he selling an $8 million house to in South Bend?
Unless you're Nelly, everybody can sell their home.
That's not true.
Oh.
That's not true at all.
Because I think his is like.
His is probably still for sale because it's in St. Louis and it's like a $20 million house. I think I've talked about this before. This drives me crazy.
Oh boy.
Where.
I'm glad you woke up feeling very spry.
That's why I was early today. I had time to go get a sandwich, some coffee.
Fudge.
I got some protein coffee in here too. I'm trying to get a little more protein in my diet.
Can I see that?
Yeah, it's.
No, I don't need you to explain. I can read. You just keep talking.
All right. So this drives me crazy a little bit, and it doesn't matter at all because it doesn't affect me even a little bit, but it still bothers me. These people that go to markets where they are or someone like them is by far going to be the richest person that ever lives in that market.
Mm-hmm.
And then they build a house that only they could buy. Like, what do you think is going to happen to that house?
I think when people do that, sometimes they just don't think about if they ever have to sell it.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, I know.
I think regular people do that too. When they're looking at houses, they fall in love with a house or something, and they never look.
If I had it to do over again, I'd change moving by neighbors with foliage, let alone I'd build a home or the incline on my drive. I mean, come on, let's just start. I'm a minimalist.
I'm just saying, I never understand. Like, if you're the head football coach at Notre Dame, the only person that you can sell that house to is the next head football coach at Notre Dame, unless you live there forever. Those are the only options. Like, there's like 4 places in the country you can build a $5+ million home and have a robust market for it. South Bend, Indiana ain't one of them. It's the same thing with, like, at least in NFL cities, you've got a chance that you're going to have like another, but like, I don't know, if you're Jared Goff, do you really want to buy Matt Stafford's house?
Oh, I hear you.
Like, that's weird.
Exactly right.
Like, then you're going to start getting like, oh, well, he's trying to be Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, you built like a $20 million house in Detroit. Who's buying that? You know what's nice? Just wait till you're retired. Pick where you want to live after that.
Any other strong opinions?
Just have you can have a real nice place that other people can afford on a normal high end salary, and by normal high end I mean like $1 million a year, not $40 million a year. Like, I don't know if NFL players know this.
Shane, can you relate to anything he's saying? Because I sure can't.
What happened? It's not that I can relate to it. This is just common sense.
Oh, that too. Well, I feel like that's directed at me.
Like, who else in St. Louis is buying a Nelly mansion? There is no person that's ever going to live there.
Brett Hull, maybe?
Outside, dude, hockey players don't even make that much money. Their contracts are not that good.
I know.
It's kind of rough.
It's like you sign a 3-year, $9 million deal, and you're like,
they're like,
ooh.
Yeah, it's like the NBA in the
Reset
80s.
the market.
They're like, ooh, cashed in. And I'm like, what are you? You see these like, oh, they signed a 12-year deal. And I was like, oh, that must be worth $400 million. And they're like 87, which, don't get me wrong, nice money. But hockey is one of the most brutal sports out there.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about you in the last 5 minutes.
Who, me?
No, the other guy I'm talking to. Yes, you.
I thought maybe Shane.
By the way, reminds me, that's totally on me. Shane, I could not sleep last night because I felt like somebody was tearing my guts out. So I watched.
Hold on. What did you eat? What did you eat?
I don't know.
What did you eat? You do know. I know that voice. What did you eat? What did you eat and how long was it left out on the counter?
2 days.
Okay. What was it?
Homemade cheesesteaks.
Okay.
Whoa.
That checks out.
And I turned it into a kind of a fancy grilled cheese. But anyway,
All right, I'm just making sure. Just checking.
You're speaking about talking to imaginary people, which made me think of Shane. I get all the S's and the thes mixed up, but it was in the I'm a big in the Predator guy.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the one with the guy that played the cleaner. Is a really good movie. He was cleaning up like a drug. It's
just called The Cleaner.
Yeah, his name starts with a B.
Is it? It's a movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Cleaner, or The Cleaner, or the thes.
I got
his last name starts with a. Is it Adrian? It's not Broner. I was gonna say Broner.
Clive Owen.
Nope.
Is it when this movie came out? Because I'm looking at one for
Last 3 years.
I've got one for 2025. Was it this year?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've
Shane,
got
who was in the Predator whose name sounds like Adrian Broner?
Lee Boardman.
Oh, the guy. Yeah, that was from like 7 or 8 years ago.
The Predator.
Yeah.
I just want to know the
Or
guys.
Predators.
Now that's
With the
so.
S.
That's the one I'm not understanding. Is it the or with the S?
It's just Predators.
Okay, so the guy that was in Predators
All right, well, we're gonna keep looking here.
was in a. He
He was
got,
also in King Kong.
He got dropped. Yes, him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is Adrian Brody.
Brody.
Yeah, Adrian Brody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
Brody. Adrian Brody. Anyway, to land the plane of me talking to fictitious people, Nolan, who was Larry Fishburne on the ship, had the imaginary friend when he was hiding the convicts out when they were being hunted by the Predator. And I could never figure out watching the show last night. I was like, who is Larry Fishburne talking to? He was Nolan in the movie. Do you
Never seen it.
fudge? Took me 6 minutes to tell a story that you don't have any idea about. That
I
was
was
really annoying me.
I was trying to hang in there as long as I could.
Yeah, anyway, he had an imaginary friend. And he ended up smoking the crew out, so the aliens found him, but it was all because what?
Now Rico just texted me.
What'd he say?
I can't. Can't do it.
What'd he say?
I can't. Nope.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
I don't want.
Tell on him.
I don't want to.
Tell on him.
So this is from Rico. I am just reading a text message. I am not saying this.
Okay.
He said Predators ? Jeff Epstein ? That's not an actor. As far as I'm aware.
Boy, Rico is naughty.
I wash my hands of that comment.
I trying to talk about imaginary friends that not named Kenny. So anyway, yes, I was talking.
I don't know that Kenny's your friend.
No, Kenny's my guy.
I think he is.
Kenny.
So you know those friends in like elementary school where your mom goes, I don't know if I want you hanging out with him. I think he might be a bad influence.
Yeah.
That's Kenny. Kenny is not a good influence.
He's fine.
Uh,
He's actually fine.
how many bad decisions in your life been made by Kenny?
All of them.
Okay, I'm just checking.
All of them. Every last one of them.
Well, he was there.
I should ask TK if that would hold up in court.
He was there sometime.
And what's the battery of tests to prove insanity?
He was there sometime in the spaceship by himself. So I mean, he had to find somebody to talk to.
Yeah, I think that was the thing because he landed the plane at like 10 seasons that he had been there, which I don't know how long that was.
Rico, you didn't say tree of trust before you made the comment, so that doesn't count. You have to say.
Rico is a silly dude.
You have to at least say beforehand, is this the tree of trust?
Are they together?
I would imagine, yeah.
Well, I never know when Action Jackson's doing something from his house because he worked last night. He was at the Central Westview game.
Yeah, and sometimes Rico works from home on Tuesday, so I don't know if they're in the same room.
Oh, does Boss still do that?
Yeah.
Like the remote Tuesdays?
Typically, yeah.
That'd be the day I'd go in.
Most of the sports team is there most of the time, but Rico lives in Lincoln, so, you know.
Oh, we got to get him here.
I've been trying. He said we got to find his wife a job that pays her as much as it does in Lincoln. So I told him I'd be on the lookout.
Okay.
You know.
Noted.
Yeah. So if you get the wife a good job up here, then come on up.
Over break, you can whisper in my ear what she does
'Cause
without putting her up there in the streets.
Because I don't think either of them are from Lincoln. He's not. I know that.
No, he's
and she, I think, is from.
Isn't he a sorry T-bird?
Yeah. He's from South O, though.
Oh,
That's fine.
They say that is south. It's south of Omaha.
South Omaha and south of Omaha. are different. It's like Dwight, like assistant to the regional manager.
You were on the semantics this morning.
Sometimes you got to be. Otherwise, you start building $8 million houses in South Bend that nobody's ever going to be able to buy.
There was a question about Elijah Robinson, which I got 17 of them yesterday.
A lot of them.
So that must have been everybody was on the same message board or what?
Yeah.
There's another Elijah Robinson. I got to read it. What do we got?
Well, we've got, is he in? And my guess is Braden would be out. Well, they coach the same position, so that's probably a fair guess.
So Elijah Robinson has like 3 or 4 offers.
Yeah, he's a hot commodity. He had allegedly agreed in principle to LSU, and then lots of other people came calling, including apparently Nebraska, if you believe reports. And I don't know anything aside from what's been reported by like Football Scoop, I think.
I'm going to need my glasses today.
No, I'll just read them all for you.
No, I did see Football Scoop.
Yeah, so Football Scoop put it out there. I think
sometimes they're accurate.
Yeah, I think typically they have at least decent information, but there are, I think, several schools vying for his services because he is.
Would that be a good get?
I mean, as far as I know, I'd have to ask our analytics guy, which, hey, we might talk to him at 8 o'clock.
Are you going to, I gave you every opportunity to beat me setting the lineup.
Adam McCLINTOCK, 8 o'clock.
So you just put the meat in the middle because I gave you COATNEY at 7:40.
Yep.
McCLINTOCK at 8.
Then we got Matt DeMARINIS at 9.
And Matty D. Wait.
That's the lineup for today.
What did we do with Schaefer? By the way, I need to
push him to next week. He's going to do next week.
Damn it. He sent me a late text.
Yeah, you didn't respond?
No.
How late was it?
I ain't read it till 2.
You talking to a ghost?
Just respond right on back. I mean, you're sending me TikToks at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
It's different.
You don't point.
I've given you permission, though, because it doesn't wake me up.
Yeah.
My phone's on vibrate. I'm never going to hear it. Never.
Oh, and you don't have kids. You're afforded that luxury.
100%. Yeah.
You shut her down.
Yeah. So I go to bed. I'm going to bed.
One of them called me yesterday with the wrong date. They had me all sorts of confused.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's no good.
Yeah, they're back at it, though.
Unless I've got a blood sugar issue and the phone's not waking me up.
So what if your mom needs something?
Well, let's keep calling.
Boy, you're tough.
I mean, listen.
It's flickering.
Just gotta stay on.
I suppose I could.
He did a pizza review at Dayport.
I saw that.
Did you?
Yeah.
And
he
was still boo.
He looks good.
He does.
He looks pretty good. He looks
does.
healthy. I think not coaching is good for his health.
Yeah.
Physically and mentally.
Yeah, he did look good.
He looked like 10 years younger than when he was at Nebraska.
He looked
like
really,
he looked good.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even playing. He looked really good.
I was like, oh.
It's like, oh, it must like that bought out coach life is nice.
I don't know if I could go back to Youngstown though.
Where else was he gonna go?
I don't know. He can afford to go a lot of. He's in that market you were talking about.
Yeah, he's got the best job in the country. Fired head football coach.
Yeah, Coach Samanji just came back from Youngstown. I wonder if they're getting married here or back. His daughter's getting married.
Oh, nice.
He goes back to Youngstown.
Yeah,
a couple times a year.
I would guess that because I think Bo left Youngstown on reasonably good terms.
Yeah.
So I mean,
you're talking about the college job?
Yeah, Youngstown State.
Yeah.
You know, because he had the one run to the national title game,
and I mean, he's the guy.
Yeah, he's royalty around there. Like, where else is he gonna go?
God, just Pelini's and Stoops.
Yeah.
And Kelly Pavlik.
And Lamanji's apparently.
Yeah, and Lamanji's.
There you go. It's football coach hotbed.
Although I'm not a Pavlik guy, but
Youngstown, Ohio.
By default, he and I were watching
Out on Pavlik?
Out on the Ghost.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently Pavlik was out on Pavlik. He struggled.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. After the bouts with Taylor, who I couldn't stand. Who, by the way,
you weren't a big Jermaine Taylor guy?
Not at all.
Not
at all.
Not good, like fundamental boxer.
I don't know, man.
Stylistically, he could be tough to watch.
I just never liked him.
Yeah. He was probably more talented than he was good. Like he probably should have been better than he was, considering his talent appeared to be.
Yeah.
Which I think those guys bother you a little bit.
I don't know.
No,
that's kind of deep. I hadn't even thought about.
Oh,
that.
they bother me.
Well,
guys that
like Jalen Hurts' performance.
Well, no, because that's who I thought Jalen Hurts was.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Is what
It doesn't let you off the hook because you already won a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, I already had to eat it. Like, it is what it is. Like, he did a thing I didn't think he was capable of because I thought there were too many of these in his bag to win one.
Yeah. Well.
Because, last night was particularly bad, but he has stretches where he looks bad.
My buddy, Rico's catching strays. Does he not know? Rico gives as good as he takes. Rico is a menace.
Rico was not catching strays. Rico started firing first. Much like Han Solo in A New Hope, Rico fired first.
I get those confused.
It's all right. We'll talk to Matt COATNEY from Husker Radio Network coming up next.
Yeah, we were trying to get him lost on the baseline. I did think they would help up with him, and Rick did a good job finding him on a couple of those, and he got fouled and got himself to the line. And teams, listen, they're going to watch film and they're going to see what happened. But I'm telling you, he's going to make teams pay, and he's going to sting them at some point. And the mentality of it. I went through a year where I didn't make anything. I think I started out the year like 0 for 19 or something. And, eventually I made some and then got confident and I was off and running. So, for Burke, he can't look at this like he's shooting whatever it is from a percentage standpoint. He's got to, right now he's 0 for 0. In the next game, he's got to come out with confidence and continue to work, which he'll do. And, again, it happened with Sam today. When I looked at the box score, I was shocked that we made 10 threes. I didn't think it was that high. But, Creighton does a great job of defending the line today. They shrunk it in there a little bit more and opened up some three-point shots for our team.
Yeah, I just think as a whole, putting the entire first and second rounds on a streaming network was a miss. This sport is too good not to be on ESPN, ESPN2, ABC. I don't know what else was playing on Thursday, Friday night on these channels. I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but I feel like these volleyball games should have been. Such great atmospheres, such great matchups, and I think our sport has elevated to the point where they should all be on TV, no different than March Madness for the men and the women. Volleyball should be right there with it, and so I echo those things. I watched a lot of matches back after the fact, and I just thought the crowds were incredible, the matches, the atmosphere, all those things, and so this sport and these athletes deserve to be seen.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Hake looks to get it in, into Petrie up the left sideline, 60-foot jumper. You betcha! You betcha! A 60-foot miracle from way down under. Aussie. Are you kidding me? Jessica Petrie brings the crowd to their feet. She shot it from three-quarter court. You betcha! What a shot! Jessica Petrie.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Matt COATNEY. That's the voice you just heard, the Husker Radio Network. Matt, what's going on, man?
You know, I have learned so much listening to you guys today. First of all, I didn't realize that DB was on a first-name basis with movie stars. Larry Fishburne, okay.
He calls him Bob De Niro, too.
I mean, the other thing is, it's like rooming with Jeff Reese. Reese would be like, hey, Coach, there was this movie on. You remember that Ben Affleck movie we watched at 2 in the morning in Waco, Texas? No, I don't remember that. No, he was the cleaner. You know, I'm like, I slept through that movie. The other thing I learned, apparently, I have been working for free after 1:30 every week for the last 40 years of my life. According to DB, I've learned so much from you guys.
Coney, it's all love. I just know you kind of like you set the tone. So if you want to do something at 1, I'm sure you do. Or if you want to, you got to travel. When you've done it, when you've done such a good job, Coach, I mean, you just kind of get to, he's got something to do.
No, I tell you, now I know why my golf game is so bad is because I've been at work after 1:30 every day. Yeah, I could have been a 4 handicap if I'd have known how this works.
So would you have preferred I went with Lawrence Fishburne?
Well, I went to high school with Brad Pitt, but I don't call him BP. I mean, he's still Brad to me. Larry Fishburne.
Man.
I got to get closer to you, DB. I thought you and I were pretty close.
Yeah. You laugh at me every week in some capacity. I'm glad we're picking up where he left off.
I would have guessed Brad Pitt's nickname would be Pity.
So Coach, how about it's not like you're, because I think you are actually at your real job, right? Out doing something important. You're missing I'm
actually missing. Yeah, I'm missing tonight's game against Omaha. I'm actually in Austin, Texas, pretending to be at a conference, according to DB. But,
I'm never gonna live this down.
Flew all the way down here. All I got to say is, if you want a driver's license after April 15th, you're going to be happy I'm down here. Okay.
Mr. DMV. So, Coach, you're missing all the Nebraska news, man. It's like, but you got news of your own with a couple of top 25 basketball programs, man. How does that sound?
I tell you what, I think it's great. And I'll tell you about the rankings. On the men's side, I think it's very important for perception because this is a good team, and Fred Hoiberg's done a good job building this team. On the women's side, I'll give you a little bit of a different take. While the ranking is nice, you want to be ranked, obviously, the net evaluation tool ranking of 12 is much more important to me because that's what gets you moving in the postseason, keeps you out of an 8-9 seed, maybe up to a 3-4 seed. So perception on the women's side, on the poll, okay, whatever. I really don't care if Nebraska women's basketball is ranked all year as long as that net ranking is high because that's what helps them in the postseason.
So it's interesting. You and I talk a lot about women's hoops. I'll have some of these offhanded comments. And a couple weeks ago, I was telling you about some innocuous fouling stat. And I'm like, oh, man, Nebraska, they just guard, man. They turn you over. And of course, you hit me with the facts. Well, that we've got 3 newcomers and this Moppin, and she can do this, and this is how they like to. And I'm like, Coach, that's why I like talking to you. But how about their not even a turnaround, because Amy's always wanted to play good defense, but the way that they're playing it now, the flexibility that they have to defend, and they're doing it without Potts so far. Like it's been pretty impressive.
I'll tell you why it's mostly impressive is when Potts was the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, she would be at the front of our pressure. And, you're talking length, you're talking about size, and she would be a shutdown defender, and she could guard really 1 through 5 at that position. Now with Potts out of there and Alexis Markowski graduated, this team somehow got better defensively. And I think it has a lot to do with Amy Williams and what she has decided to do in the transfer portal, bringing in a Haley Weaver who just, I think, has turned this team into a team that could be elite defensively, because now you have Callan Hake, who I have been trying to get anybody's attention what a great defender she is. You have Britt Prince, who is an underrated defender, Haley Weaver, who is an exceptional defender, and don't take for granted Kennedy Williams, who comes off the bench. And in women's basketball, not being tall can sometimes be an advantage at the guard position because you can dig in lower than most people, and she has been an absolute pest against teams. So on the perimeter, this has been an elite defensive team early.
Yeah, you and I were talking about, I don't know, this was probably last year, maybe a couple years ago. They were traveling, and they're on the West Coast, and we were just talking about defending in the backcourt and neutralizing, like, dribble penetration. That's kind of what you're talking about when you talk about things that Kennedy Williams and that backcourt brings to the table, because it has kind of been Nebraska's bugaboo is when guards are good at getting where they want to on the floor against Nebraska off the bounce.
Well, especially in the Big Ten. I mean, when you start talking about the types of players that Nebraska is going to see in the Big Ten, it's a small thing, but, when you start looking at the small details of winning teams and teams that are just mediocre, if you can initiate your offense with 15 on the shot clock, you probably are going to be more successful than if you consistently start at 12 on the shot clock. And if you can slow a team down that extra 3 seconds, make them uncomfortable, then, you're talking 2 or 3 possessions a game, and that might be the difference in 2 or 3 wins a year. And that's what this Nebraska team brings on the defensive end on the perimeter. I mean, I'm leaving out some players here. Really Logan Nisley, pretty slow at foot, but an exceptional defender on the wing. The whole team can defend.
Matt, you talk about the defense of this team, and rightfully so. But I look on the other side, and I'm seeing these games. I'm seeing them put up 103 a couple times. I'm seeing them put up 91, 92, 101. Yeah. I go, offensively, they're kind of getting it done too.
They turn you out, yeah.
Well, here's the thing about offense is they are not one-dimensional. It would be very easy to look at this team and see Britt Prince averaging over 20 points a game and think, well, she's got to get it done or they can't do it. It's not been the case. Every game, if they try to take away Britt Prince, here comes Logan Nisley, hits 4 threes in a quarter. So you got to take her away. Or here comes Eliza Maupin off the bench and puts in 8 points. Probably the most impressive player early on that no one is talking about is Amaya Hargrove, who's a sophomore out of a small school in Illinois, plays with confidence. She's a zone buster. The other day, Bradley went to one possession of zone. Hargrove just moved to the middle of the zone, hit a 17-footer, and that was the end of the zone. And Hargrove is tough on the board. So they're getting second chance points. They're getting scoring from all 5 positions. They're getting scoring off the bench. They can hit the 3. They can get defensive transition baskets. They can score just about any possible way you can in basketball, and that's why you're seeing these really record numbers they're putting up.
Are you surprised that they were able, without Potts and the great Markowski, that they found a way to minimize the differential rebounding the basketball?
I would say 3/4 surprise, because a couple of years ago, Nebraska really struggled with the rebound margin, and Amy made a coaching decision to make the team better with team rebounding and not just put it all on Alexis Markowski. That now is kind of rebooted to Nebraska 2.0, where they really put an emphasis on rebounding. and with little trinkets and awards and that type of thing. And it's not just lip service. It's not just we're going to do this in practice and then the game's something different. They have committed as a team to being a good team rebounding team. And, if you think about it, the best teams at rebounding are not one-dimensional. They can rebound from 5 spots. And I credit Amy Williams and her staff for making that culture of importance.
So I'm trying to find the right way to ask this, because I don't want to ask if you're surprised, because that sort of indicates that you didn't think they would be good or as good from the start. But I do want to ask you, which was easier to see coming, the start for the men's basketball team or the start for the women's basketball team?
That's a great question. I'll say this. I think it is easier to understand the start for Amy's team because you take a look at their schedule and know if they got by a good North Dakota State team, know if they got by a good Creighton team, that good things could happen. I think it's the manner in which Nebraska has been blowing out teams on the women's side that has been the surprising part. I'm not surprised with what Fred Hoiberg has done. We talk a lot about bowl game practice and how important that is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not underestimate the tournament championship that the Nebraska men last year, the Nebraska won last year, for practice, also for perception of saying, look, we are a good team. And sometimes I think you have to win consistently to keep winning. I think you need to expect to win, to find ways to win games. I think the postseason was important for Fred Hoiberg last year, so I'm probably not as surprised by the success of the men early on as the margin that Nebraska women have been winning these games by.
What's interesting is quietly both coaches, just, the patience, the athletic department, the vision, they've got a chance to kind of reboot and kind of tinker with their staffs, and it's paid dividends. Like, Amy's put together a super staff, and, people like Taylor Edwards, they don't get near enough credit for the scouting operations and stuff. Like, I think quietly she's done a really good job on the reboot.
Well, she did, and Ted is a tremendous person. You take Marissa Kostanek has come in as a graduate assistant, and what she has done individually with Britt Prince has been fantastic. You're talking about a 13-year professional player coming in. She's making Britt Prince better defensively, off the bounce, looking to be more aggressive, where she can put the ball that makes it effective for her teammates. Julian Asibe, this whole staff has just been.
I just like his wardrobe. Like, that's,
Well, his fit is tight.
Yeah, he's a cool customer.
No, the first person DB who told me about Kyle Crooks before Kyle ever got the job here was Julian Asibe.
Really?
Jay came up to me in the offseason and said, hey, I want to tell you about this guy from Florida named Kyle Crooks. I used to work with him. And so I had a good feeling about Kyle just for what Jay told me early in the year. Now, he's a good dude. I love Jay.
No, we can't say too many nice things about Kyle because he's already usurped power amongst the crew, and he's the youngest. I don't know how I feel about that, Matty.
Hey, man, you talk about usurped power, but I didn't see your notes go flying out the window at the last moment.
Was that not incredible?
I have never seen that, and he looked like he'd seen a ghost. I didn't know if he'd be able to continue.
He just was like, and he just kept talking through it. He just casually said,
there go my notes.
There go my notes. Charts out the window. And was like, down to the 12. And I was like, pretty impressive. And, of course, the caregiver, the gatekeeper, Benny Mack, and to the rescue. That was one of the more phenomenal, funny things I've seen in a long time.
It's a good thing you guys didn't have to go to me on the back row because I couldn't have continued. You guys didn't see me. I was crying, laughing. I was like, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen on this broadcast.
Well, I didn't want to look up at you because I get chastised for looking around when I talk. Jess and Ben, they kill me for looking around the room when I'm being an analyst. I'm like,
DB, it's my favorite thing you do. Forget them. You should listen to me, not those guys. You keep doing that. It's my favorite thing about that broadcast. When you don't look at me, I think maybe that maybe I looked the wrong way.
You didn't get my music reference or something?
Yeah.
Chastise me about saying Larry instead of Lawrence.
Larry Fishburne. What are we doing this morning?
Oh, Bobby De Niro, good friend. COATNEY, I got to ask you real quick. This very important question before we let you go here is you tweeted out that it's National Pastry Day today. What is your favorite pastry?
Well, I think being as connected to Nebraska as I am, it's got to be an apricot kolache from Wilbur.
Jeez. Really, Coach?
Oh, come on.
Wait, hold on. Is that like a Nebraska thing?
Kolaches? Oh, yeah. So are you a warm fruit guy, or are you warming those up, or how are you eating your kolaches, Coat?
If they're free, however they come to me. I warm, cold, moldy. Have you never had a kolache from the Wilbur Bakery?
I have not a kolache guy.
So they make savory kolaches too, which are good.
But some they put meat.
Those are good.
But people don't like the bastardized versions.
Oh, I do. The savory kolaches are very good.
I don't know.
I'll guarantee you, Larry Fishburne likes apricot kolache.
Larry Fishburne, I could just we could go have a nice steak or an apple fritter, one of those two, and I'll be good. I'd probably go fritter or. Those blueberry donuts, Coat, that they're glazed, they kind of have the flakes in them, the little blueberry flakes.
Oh yeah, those are great.
Yeah, I would. Those would be the two go-tos.
Yeah.
I'd like you to bring up a pastry I wouldn't like. Well, I go in the words of DB, give me all of them.
Yeah.
Okay?
You betcha, Coat. You betcha. Touche.
That is the one and only Matt COATNEY, Husker Radio Network. Coat, we appreciate. Can I call you Coat? Is that all right?
Yeah. I guess if we went Larry Fishburne, you could drop it to Coat today, I guess.
Just today, okay? Because obviously you're pretty sensitive about nicknames, so I want to make sure. I didn't know. I want to make sure that I was close enough to you that I could drop the Coat. I could do COATNEY. I could do full Matthew COATNEY if that's better. I can do full government if that's okay.
Yeah, you can do Coat today, but once I get off work after 1:30 is when I prefer that you drop to the nickname.
All right, we'll wait until early afternoon to drop nicknames. All right.
Safe travels, Coat.
Enjoy Austin, Texas. That is Matt COATNEY, Husker Radio Network. Great stuff there as always. Coming up, we're going to talk to one Adam McCLINTOCK from Matrix Analytical. We had a lot going on this weekend.
A lot.
And he can shed some light not only on Nebraska coaching staff hires, but also on the college football playoff and how it's a sham. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
As a coaching staff, we're watching film on all three. We'll have a full scouting report done for Arizona State, and then we'll have kind of the blueprints of it all done for the other two teams. And then we'll get to watch them live. If we win on Thursday, they'll play after us. So then Thursday night, normally we'll meet as a coaching staff and kind of finalize the scout. Do it with the team on Friday morning. We'll practice, and then the nice thing with this one is you have that day off in between. So we'll be ready to go on Saturday. But we don't ever do a second team with our team until the day before. That's the same in conference or tournament. So we put all of our focus into the next team, and that's Arizona State for us right now. So that's where all of our team's preparation is going.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
I was telling Fred, I think their role players are really champions in their role, and that's a little bit harder to accomplish in this day and age because guys don't necessarily stay in one place. But Sam Hoiberg was the difference in the game today, and I don't think. Matter of fact, I know because I've known Sam a long time. Sam doesn't care if he scores. Sam doesn't care if he gets an assist. Sam just wants to win. And, I think Cale Jacobson falls into that same boat. I think they just do whatever their team needs them to do, and it's not about them. Then they understand where their bread's butter with Rank and Price is playing at a high level, and Jamarcus, compared to 2 years ago, has made really good strides. And Frager, I think, has made great strides from a senior in high school to where he is today. So I just think they have some guys that really do their job well, and it's hard to get them flustered because of that. So if you'd have told me, Price was going to get 13 and Rink got 20, but at least had to work for it, I'd have thought it would have been a pretty competitive game. But Sam was really the difference.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by Adam McCLINTOCK from Matrix Analytical. Adam, I like the flag in the background. How are we doing this morning? Oh, I think you're on mute, buddy. Oh, is it on?
There it is.
Oh, there. I think I heard you. There you go.
Oh, we had him.
Nope, he's gone now.
I'm not going to blame Shane until I know. Shane, I'm chomping at the bit to blame you because Adam's pretty smart. I mean, no disrespect there, Shane. No. I mean, maybe. I kind of heard him.
Shane, we got anything going on here?
Not yet.
Okay, well, what does that mean?
Oh, wait.
I think he can hear us.
Yeah, he's saying
he can hear us. We cannot hear him. Shane, do we try and call him?
Yeah, I'll give him a call.
No, I want to see him laugh and the expressions and the flag.
Well,
It's fine. We can call him.
Well, maybe we can keep him on the video.
I don't get anything I want. Go ahead.
Leave him on the stream and just call him.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave him. Oh, who did we do that with?
We used to do it first.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because his mic was weird sometimes. We're like, Bud, what's happening here?
Yeah. And he would get really mad. Drop a couple of expletives.
That doesn't sound like him at all.
No. Do you like my screensaver?
It was good. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you.
You showed me that the other day. That's good.
Yeah, I'm going to change it. He's got another one I like.
Yeah?
Yeah. All right, we ready to go? No? All right.
No, it's fine.
I can hear him.
I don't know what's happening here. I don't know. I don't know how any of the technology works, so I'm being totally honest.
Technology?
So it's funny when I blame Shane because I certainly can't do it.
Don't blame Shane.
Listen, somebody.
Hey, Mac, you there, buddy? Oh, Shane's got to punch him through. Oh, technology. I can see. Just ask me.
Shane, is he on the phone?
No, Shane is getting his panic game right.
Okay.
Keep calling his name.
Hey, Shane.
It's like when Zoe says, Dad, and we're the only two people in the room.
Mom.
You don't have to keep saying that.
We have him.
There we go.
Adam, how we doing?
Let's get to our guy, Adam McCLINTOCK. What's up?
Oh, just telling jokes.
I don't know what's going on with this whole thing? Good
Yeah.
grief.
We're just-
StreamYard's got me all shook.
No, so it's all these coaching moves, man. It's like, do you love? You have all this data, right? Like, how do you, when you're not advising your clients, right? How do you keep from not saying, I don't know, guys, like this is probably not going to work out the way you want it to.
That is the hardest thing in this whole process is, okay, typically how this goes is a head coach or an athletic director will give you their list of, because every one of them we call it the bus list. You know, if that coach gets hit by a bus tomorrow, who you replacing him with, right?
Mhm.
So every athletic director has a bus list, or head coach for usually for every position. So they give us the guys that they like first, okay, and then we throw in 2 or 3 guys that we think would fit their profile. And sometimes, like when a coach gives you his list, you see it and you're like, oh man. Boy, please take a look at our suggestions.
Yeah.
Because our whole job is to mitigate risk, right? One of the things, and we've talked with, I think I've talked with you guys about this before, is one of the things that the numbers can't do is it can't account for the human factor in this, right? How well does a personality fit in with the rest of the room of coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that the numbers can't capture. So that's something that has to be on the person that's interviewing the candidate for whatever position is being filled. So, but we can say, hey, I'm sure this guy's got a great personality, okay? but he's gonna get you fired in 3 years.
It's like the guy's trying to rationalize, but she's so nice.
Yeah, exactly.
That's code for she's not very good looking.
What do you think of my new girl? She seems great.
She's got a great personality.
Oh shoot! All right, hey, Mac. So right away, pretty. He's working behind the scenes. You could tell he had given it some thought. So in comes, I'm not even going to use this government. In comes Geep, right? And we're looking at
not a big Gideon pillow guy.
No, not a big GP guy. Although I do love the name Gideon because that was my favorite character.
Also, that's your Criminal Minds guy, yeah.
Yeah, until Hodge. But so let me ask you, Adam, where do you see the biggest bump coming? Is it in his ability to recruit? Is it in the development? Where do you see the biggest quote unquote upgrade in moving from Donnie to Geep?
I think you're going to see it pretty immediately, just in the play on the field. Geep's profile, right now he is a top 10, which he's actually the number 6 overall offensive line coach active in our database right now.
Incredible.
He is, yes. That was a very, very savvy hire by Coach Rule. I think you'll see that pay dividends on the field immediately. At least that's what his profile has said. Usually he gets in somewhere and it's a pretty noticeable bump the first season. Now I know people are some of the talk out there has been, well, he had a mobile quarterback, or his head coach was an offensive line guru. Okay, it's not just at Georgia Tech. Okay, yeah. His success hasn't been limited just to Georgia Tech. He was successful at Middle Tennessee. He was successful at Georgia Southern before that. He was successful at all these other places. So what he does, and this is kind of my my token word for this coaching cycle. What he does is portable. Okay, it's portable. All right. It's not just limited to the situation he's currently in. And we like to see that as in any of our candidates that we put out there for our clients is, hey, is what they do portable, or is it just tied to the talent on one roster who he's been a part of the past 2 or 3 years?
Let me ask you something, Adam, just because you kind of know your coaches' personalities a little bit. Are there as long as you've done this, are there telltale signs where guys are good at mitigating blind spots? Like, is there a general way that coaches can bring in some of your prospective clients where it's just their style alone can mitigate some of the risks that you may think candidates are bringing to the table? Is there a way to ask questions? Is it a track record? Are you seeing any patterns in risk mitigators?
Risk mitigators, yes. Yeah, we are. So first thing you need to go, okay, I can give you a perfect example that happened this week of somebody who didn't do that correctly and somebody who just bought the interview hook, line, and sinker. Go look at Tulane and who they just hired as their head coach. Mr. Will Hall, who went 14-36 at Southern Miss. He leaves, and Charles Huff comes in there, wins right away. And then all of a sudden Tulane thinks that's a great idea to go out and hire that guy that went 14-36 at Southern Miss. Southern Miss appears to be better without him. He must have came in and they didn't think of anything about risk at all. Like, okay, this guy has a good reputation in the Louisiana and Mississippi area, so we're going to hire him no matter what his past track record has been. That's the opposite of what you're talking about. There are coaches out there who are good about, okay, I have X hole to fill on my coaching staff. Okay, I understand this guy may not be the best, have the best profile, but I know his strengths as far as recruiting in, let's say, the St. Louis area. Okay, we want a guy on our staff who can fill that hole of being able to open up the St. Louis metro area for us. This guy may be the second or third best profile of the guys I'm looking at, but he's the best guy to get into that St. Louis market. So let's bring him in. Let's get him into the staff so we can get that area unlocked recruiting wise. That would be kind of the best example I have for you of how these guys kind of sometimes, they use risk mitigation to not only fill a position with the best person, but also fill a hole in their staff where they feel they're weak.
So you mentioned with Geep Wade sort of the instant impact that you've seen with his teams that he's been able to turn around. With Rob Aurich, it seems like he fits a very similar profile, not just in the instant turnarounds, but you also used a word portable. He's also done it at multiple stops. How much do you think those two things factored in to the hiring of Aurich over some of the other guys that I'm sure we're talked to, or that we heard were talked to?
Well, I think it was utmost importance. I mean, you look at this roster and what's needed. I mean, if Coach Rule can get a guy in there who can quickly turn around this defense, with the offense we have returning next, or Nebraska has returning next year. I'm sorry, I say we. I grew up in Lincoln. I try really hard not to say we.
It's cool. You're throwing me off with the Notre Dame T-shirt, so I love it. It's like, all right, he is objective. He's got all sorts of things going on. Little Nebraska, little Notre Dame, little this, little that.
Well, I got to support Notre Dame because Marcus Freeman's a good dude and a good coach, and they got railroaded. So I had to, throw on a Notre Dame shirt today. But,
we'll get to that. Don't worry, we will.
Oh, I want to hear this. Yeah, go ahead.
So if Coach Rule can turn that defense around quickly, then the pieces are already in place there to do some big things. I think. Of course, you got to get out and do some things in the transfer portal this year. I think that's been well talked about by other people in the network and in the media. But I think the pieces are there. Aurich is that guy who can turn the defense around quickly. He's done it multiple places. He's done it places where it's a lot harder to do it than Lincoln, Nebraska. I know there was another guy out there that people were kind of hand wringing that we didn't ultimately get to come to Lincoln, but there's two sides of the same coin as far as when we talk about risk, right? And Ravi kind of hit on it. Rob Aurich, what he does is portable. Okay, he's a quick turnaround guy. He's done it in multiple places. All right, we know that he can do that. We know he's a quick turnaround guy. The other candidate, which I won't even, I don't want to muddy the waters by bringing it up, right? So he'd only been at one place his entire career. Okay, so his ceiling and his floor are defined, right? We know better of who he is, but we have no idea what kind of turnaround guy he is because he's never had to do it. He took over a decent defense and he just maintained it while he was there. Okay, so do you want the guy that the floor and ceiling, but you don't know how long it's going to take him to ramp up to that place, or do you want the guy that you don't know his ceiling or his floor, but he's gonna get some impact. There's two sides of that risk coin there. I think Coach Rule did the wise thing and got the candidate that I think can turn around quicker.
So let me ask you something before Ravi gets to some of these hard-hitting playoff questions. The name, Football Scoop floated, or Elijah Robinson, obviously a hot candidate, comes with whatever, right? So let me ask you, without being too specific, do coaches need to be careful, or how do you pit it against the data when a coach has a ton of suitors and it boils down to something maybe other than the place you guys think he would do the best job at, i.e. money, or, because there's always that element, right? So you're pitting what the client or the candidate may want in terms of what he's looking for versus what actually may be the best fit according to the data. Those two things sometimes don't always line up. How do you keep yourself from getting a really good guy, but maybe not wanting to get into bidding wars or something like that?
So we have a tool for that we offer our clients, and it's a real market value basically on coaches based on their rating in our system. What is a good salary that be making, compared to similar guys in your conference? Okay, what is competitive? And what percentage of your coaching pool should you allocate towards them? If you start to approach that and go above it, that's okay, but you have to realize that, hey, that has to come from somewhere. You have to pull that money from somewhere to make up for overpaying for this guy. Is it worth it? And that's a decision like the person who's filling the staff out has to make. Where, is it important enough to me to get Elijah Robinson on the staff to overpay for him enough to where I may have to skimp in other areas? Elijah Robinson's a really good defensive line coach, really good recruiter. He's been everywhere. Everywhere he's been, he's had success. Had a rough season as a defensive coordinator at Syracuse, but his defensive line numbers are still fine. That is a guy that we would say, hey, it might be okay to go above market value to get him into Lincoln because he is at a position of need. And he also brings on the element of being an ace recruiter as well. Not only that, but he's got familiarity with Coach Rule already. Coach Rule knows who he's getting personality-wise. So there's not a risk there as far as, okay, if I bring this big name in here, is he going to shake my coaching staff up and cause friction? He likely already knows that. So this is a guy that we would say, hey, if you are actively after a big defensive line coach, and that's what you're looking to fill out the staff. Yeah, Elijah Robinson's that guy you probably want to go after. Guns blazing. So,
Adam, let me switch over to the college football playoff here because you seem to have a better understanding and more data points on how the college football playoff committee chooses the 12 teams better than anybody I've seen. And I believe in our conversations, and I think from what you said publicly as well, like on Twitter, the Alabama decision, it appears to be a huge outlier from not only the other teams that were penalized in rankings for losing in conference championships, but also historically what they've done kind of over the course of their rankings, whether in the 4 or 12 team playoff. Why is Alabama such an outlier?
It's the whole situation is an outlier. So there were two unprecedented things that had to happen for Notre Dame to get left out. One, an idle team jumping an idle team for no reason. Okay, there was no further data on either team.
Mm-hmm.
They just, I understand the head-to-head argument, right? But up to this point, the committee had shown, and our model had shown, that Notre Dame's profile was still superior to Miami's despite the head-to-head result. Okay. So they were ranked where they should have been. So that had to happen. Miami had to jump Notre Dame, which in itself is unprecedented. The other unprecedented thing is Alabama was beaten handily.
Mm-hmm.
They were drubbed in the SEC championship game, and they didn't drop not even a single spot. That's unprecedented. Okay, those two things happened at the same time to knock Notre Dame out. So I think they got railroaded. This is the biggest outlier, anomaly of any college football poll that we've seen in the past decade. There was some funny business going on here with this one. I typically can look at it and I can look at the profiles and I can kind of explain, okay, the series of if-then statements they have to go through for, strength of schedule, game control, quality wins, top 25 wins. This is why they moved this team in this spot. Okay, there was none of that for Notre Dame. Notre Dame was, inexplicably left out of the playoff for, I don't know if it's because they wanted to get an ACC team in there because, people always talk about the ESPN SEC bias. The ACC is part of that as well. So, yeah, that's why I have the Notre Dame shirt on today. If I'm an Irish fan, I am irate because they completely were railroaded on all this.
So real quick, so during the course of the broadcast, I thought it was really interesting because it was brought up by the broadcast team that if Alabama gets left out, then the SEC could counter with, well, then why would we play a championship game? And to me, obviously, we know who owns that inventory, and that's a very valuable property for that entity. That entity also happens to be the one that owns and operates the college football playoff. Is it too tinfoil hat-y to think that part of their motivation here is, hey, we don't want to lose a super valuable piece of inventory? Or, like, I don't know, I'm having, like you said, you're having a hard time finding the ways in. If I'm having a hard time finding the ways in that make sense logically and by their system, I have to start thinking of other motivations, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, and you're right. That's a lot of money that would be if the SEC said, okay, we're just not going to play conference title games anymore. Companies have done a lot worse for a lot less, right?
Yeah.
So like I said, what needs to happen here is Fox, NBC, CBS need to have a stake in the college football playoff, and can't all be owned by one entity. Break it up across different networks. That way, it's not. At least it gives the illusion of, hey, there's not such a huge bias here by one TV network that owns the whole thing that they're going to try to shoehorn an Alabama team in there who hasn't been the same for the past month. It's hard for me to grasp. And honestly, anymore with how bloated these conferences are, what do we have conference title games anyway for? I mean, it's get rid of them and move the season back, and let's start this thing early and get over by New Year's.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, go ahead.
So I want to get there's a couple of statistics that we talk about a lot that maybe you can quantify in terms of how much they actually mean. One in particular, you guys both mentioned, is game control. It's been a new one over the last couple of years that people use a lot. When you look at game control metrics, I'm sure you have to buoy it against explosives or something like that in terms of big plays. But where would you put game control in terms of a predictive stat when you're watching the course of a game play out over time? Like, what do your numbers say?
So explosive plays do have an impact, but what has a bigger impact, and what this has kind of been our pet project actually for like the past month, Dave and I, is trying to define momentum in college football. Okay, like everybody talks about, we've gained momentum. We've got momentum is defined, and we've figured this out that if a team is able to score consecutively back to back, or if a defense is able to come out and deny an offense from scoring back-to-back scoring possessions, your chances of winning, and this is kind of a water is wet moment. If we score back-to-back and keep the other team from scoring, that's no kidding, we're more likely to win the game. But in the context of, you hear it in the coaching community all the time that, hey, we've got to win the middle eight. We've got to win the middle eight. Let's play for the middle eight. We have completely just made that moot, that whole middle eight discussion moot. Okay, you come out there, and the data has shown this. We've ran it for the past. It's play-by-play data since 2006, I think. Right? If you come out there swinging, and you immediately go up 2 scores, I think 17 points is the cutoff. if you come out and you score 17 points consecutively, no matter when you do it, usually the biggest indicator is in the first quarter. Okay, if you can come out and do that, you're going to win. I think it's like 87% of the time. So the teams that come out and defer, the teams that come out and play conservatively for that middle eight, you're not doing it. Okay, at least in college football. NFL it's a different story. NFL is a different game, right? But in college, right now, what we have been able to show is that if you come out swinging, throwing haymakers immediately, take the ball, and try to gain that momentum quickly, you're going to win that game more often than not. Okay, and like I said, the only mitigating circumstance there is if you have a bad offense and you're going against a superior defense and you have a superior defense. Okay, then you need to maybe defer. But all other points, our data is showing, hey, you need to take the ball, you need to come out swinging, and you need to score first.
Interesting. What about, so do you have any new data or data that you guys are finding interesting? I love the game control thing because people, they talk about it very, very casually as if they have a good command on what it, quantifying it, which the momentum thing is a fascinating offset to that. Well, let me ask you about this. Is there a new or other data in special teams over the last handful of years that has become more relevant than maybe we know or that you guys would have thought when you're crunching numbers? Is there anything about special teams we're missing? Teams that don't return the ball, teams that do return the ball, average starting field, things like that you think are, oh, this is interesting.
Yeah, we've taken a look at that. So it instead of having just an overall generalized philosophy of, hey, we're going to return the ball out every time, or hey, we're going to take a touchback and take it to 25 every single game, we've tried to break it down for our clients. Hey, you need to look at the opposing team special teams, which sounds kind of, again, a water is wet moment there, but you need to take that into account. Okay, the mindset of, hey, we're going to impose what we do on people no matter who they are, that works in some aspects, but not in special teams, especially not in the return game. If you're going against a good special teams unit, take the 25 yards. Okay, don't try to bring it out and lose, because sometimes that 3 or 4 yards that you're not getting, on a kickoff return or whatever it is, that's the difference in you getting that last first down, or the difference in you being in field goal range as opposed to being out of field goal range. You have to take that into account. This another rabbit trail here.
I love rabbit. This is fascinating. You can give me all the bunny trails you want.
All right. So the go no go chart that ESPN always has on their graphic part. The analytics, they go analytics. Okay. That's a generalized average of every football game that's been played for the past or whatever years, right? That's not who you're playing. You're not playing a generalized average team, right? You know who you're playing. You know the ability of that defense you're playing. You know the ability of your offense. We don't give our clients, hey, generalized over the past 10 years, here's what most teams do. That doesn't do anybody any good, because you're not, you have very specific things going on in that game, and very specific units you have, and very specific units you're going against. So we're able to take, hey, here's the quality of that defense. Here's what they're good at. Okay. Here's the quality of your offense. Here's what you're good at. This is your no-go zone here. Okay, for this game, this specific game.
And just last night, right? This was 4 turnovers with Philly up to that point. They hadn't even had the 5th yet. And it was 4th and 3, and Los Angeles punted. And the Aikman and those guys were like, hey, analytics say go for it here. I'm like, yeah, but Philly can't move the ball. And you got a chance to get this into overtime.
Or like, what if you're Nebraska this year and you're bad in short yardage on offense? Like, your go is probably a lot shorter.
I mean, just to your point, you know what I mean? It's just this is fascinating.
Specificity matters a lot in these go no go situations.
Exactly. Every football is such a circumstance game, right? Every single down, every single play, every single circumstance is typically, there's a variable in there that's different than the last time you saw it. So how can you take a generalized, blanket statement of, okay, this is when you should go, this is when you don't, over a game that has so many variables in it? It doesn't make sense. And that's where a lot of coaches and a lot of staffs fall short on this stuff is, hey, analytics say go for 2, okay? Or analytics say I should go for it here, 4th and 3 from my own 45 up 10. Don't do those things. But you're trying to win the game, right? At the end of the day, who cares what the generalized analytics says? In this game, you should punt that ball and play defense because you have the better defense, and their offense is subpar. If you punt that ball, there's an X% chance that you're going to hold them and you're going to get the ball back anyway.
All right.
Don't take the risk to go for it and give them a helping hand.
Let me get you out of here on this in this coaching crazy carousel. When you look at kind of where all the dominoes have landed from head coaching standpoint, you have I know you like Okie State. I like what happened at Okie State, especially given what was going on in Stillwater. But you have your final rankings in terms of, because Matt Campbell hadn't landed yet. There were a couple of there were a couple schools that were still kind of feeling their way along. And after your answer, I want you to, I want to get your thoughts on Drinkwitz still being at Missouri up until this point, and why you think that is. So, do you have your rankings for head coaches?
Yes, yeah, I do. As far as who's been hired places.
Yeah.
What hires you like the best?
So yeah, I still like Eric Morris at Oklahoma State and James Franklin at Virginia Tech. Those are 2 very good hires. I do think, and Ravi, cover your ears, buddy, but I think Penn State backed into a pretty good hire.
I know. You don't have to tell me. I know. I love Matt Campbell. I did. Yeah. He's dead to me now.
But it's going to look different, right? Like I said last week when I was on, they essentially so James Franklin and Matt Campbell are essentially neck and neck in our coaching rankings. Okay, they hired but they do it differently. James Franklin is an ace recruiter. He's going to stock your cupboard full of talent. You're going to be in the hunt for the best recruiting class. Every year in the Big Ten when James Franklin is your head coach. Matt Campbell may not do the same thing. Okay, he's going to go out. He's going to find the guys that work best for his system, and he doesn't really care if that guy is a 3-star or a 5-star. Okay, he's going to go out and get the guy that works best for his system. In the end, after all this, we have that each one of those coaches would win about the same amount of games at Penn State, just going about it different directions. So if Penn State hired Matt Campbell thinking, hey, he's going to get us over the top and win us a national title, that's not what our numbers are showing. We have a ceiling for Matt Campbell at Penn State, and it's about what James Franklin is doing there. He just comes about it from a different way. So let's see, who has been hired since I've already blasphemed Will Hall at Tulane.
You kind of minced words and how you felt about that, Adam. I'm a little unsure how you feel about that.
So let me ask you another one, because I think there's one where you have strong feelings. I'm interested in what they are. Is there any place where you think, because you said it was probably a wash between Campbell and Franklin at Penn State, and that's probably the one where they had the biggest danger of actually downgrading their coach because James Franklin's actually really good. Is there a place that you think fired their coach and ended up with somebody definitely worse?
Fired their coach, and
I have one in mind, but I don't know if I'm right or not.
Who do you got?
Michigan State.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, that was kind of at the back of my mind. That didn't come to mind first, but yes, they definitely made the goof of, or appears that they made the goof of this coaching hire. Jonathan Smith in our database anyway is a much better coach than Pat Fitzgerald. Okay, Pat Fitzgerald was good as long as he had Hankwitz as a DC. There's Hankwitz left. that program kind of fell apart. Hankiewicz was one of the best defensive coordinators we had in our database, and he floated that program for a long time just because he's a wizard. Okay, he's a witch. We were convinced that Hankiewicz was a witch. So, but anyway, so Fitzgerald Hankiewicz isn't coming back through that door. Jonathan Smith is a very good coach. It does take him a little while to ramp up. It did at Oregon State, but he was on the way there with Michigan State. They just weren't patient enough. So that's one that I think, yeah, definitely. You're right on there with that one.
All right, last one for me.
For real this time.
So of the guys that were kind of rumored to be hot and maybe on the move, and there's Jed Fish, there's Dillingham, there's
you mentioned Drinkwitz, yeah.
Any of those surprise you at kind of how it ended?
Well, so Drinkwitz, you mentioned Drinkwitz. He was on some pretty big lists. I know this because I saw them. Okay.
Yeah, I believe you.
Caught DP off guard there a little bit.
Good.
So he was on some pretty big lists. So I am surprised that he is. I mean, he's done really well at Missouri. I mean, you look at Missouri where they probably should be in the SEC and where they are, and that he's got a pretty nice cushioning margin there. So I thought maybe he would be one that would be at a different job this year, but he got an extension. I think it probably was. I think he probably got a Penn State call like everybody else did who got an extension. But Missouri, they have their own little recruiting niche right there in Missouri and St. Louis and Kansas City, and they've got a nice little scheduling thing carved out in the SEC where I think they get Arkansas, Missouri, or two. So I mean that's not it could be a lot tougher for him there. Good recruiter. I mean, he's a good staffer. So I thought maybe he would be in line for one of these bigger jobs. But honestly, right now, where would you go? Auburn, or would you stay with what you got in Missouri?
Yeah, Auburn's toxic.
Are you surprised? And I get Dillingham's ties to the area, but are you surprised that either Fish is a guy I thought really could be on the move? Does Fish or Dillingham surprise you?
Not really, because they're still pretty early in what they're doing at Arizona State and at Washington. 1 year at Washington, and actually Washington regressed from where Big Kalen DeBoer had him.
Mm-hmm.
The SEC has a blueprint for what Kalen DeBoer is in the SEC. Okay, if Jed Fish took the same program that Kalen DeBoer had in Washington and regressed with it, then you that was kind of the conversation there with Jed Fish getting him in the SEC. Is okay, he's a toned down version of Kalen DeBoer. Okay, and we love Kalen DeBoer. Kalen DeBoer is an amazing coach. We think, right? I think following Nick Saban was going to be tough for anybody, and he's done a fantastic job of trying to do that there. But SEC minds are kind of different. Okay, they look at Kalen DeBoer and they say, okay, we don't want a watered down version of that guy coming into our program, trying to revive what we're trying to do here at whatever program that we're talking about. So I'm not surprised Jed Fish is still at Washington, and Kenny Dillingham, he's just still early in his days at Arizona State, and I think there was some risk there that some of these programs, they didn't have their athletic records didn't have the amount of chips on their table to be able to push forward for a risk like that. So maybe if they're able to continue Arizona State forward, get them back in the championship game next year, then maybe next coaching cycle we'll see a little bit more traction for Kenny Dillingham.
All right, the real last one. Damn it. Knock it off, Ravi. Well, I mean, people like listening to you too, and I do too. I like getting smarter, which is why you should be a part of the Patreon. But so let me ask you this, Mac. What about Chesney to UCLA, which I think which was the head scratcher for everyone. But you and I kind of, we danced around him a couple of weeks ago and the Penn State rumors, and I never bought it. But
that screams good coach, bad job.
Like that perk up a little bit? Were you like, wait, he's going where? He decided on what?
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit last week and what his motivation could have been, and I think he knew that he wanted to move on from James Madison. Okay, his window was open, and a lot of times when a window opens for these coaches, they're wise to take it. Perfect example of not doing that is Jamie Chadwell, who's still sitting at Liberty.
Unbelievable! If you'd have told me that 4 years ago, 3 years ago,
I loved that guy too.
Everybody loved Chad.
Man.
Yeah. Yep. His window was open wide, and I think there were some opportunities he could have taken for some smaller opportunities, but he passed on those and bet on himself. And that works sometimes, but in this case, it didn't. He didn't take his opportunity. Now he's kind of in the back of everybody's minds. Everybody's kind of forgotten about Jamie Chadwell at this point. But Chesney, I think he jumped at the opportunity. I think Penn State was probably going to eventually get back to him, but like we talked about last week, do you want to walk in a room where hey, somebody's having to take you with a spoonful of sugar, right? Or
it seemed to work for Campbell.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But I think at that point, Penn State really, really, really wanted Matt Campbell and showed him they really wanted Matt Campbell because he was, about 8 down the list and was looking like their savior at that point in time.
You know what what I would imagine they sold Campbell on is they didn't know he was going to be available.
No, yeah. Well, see, that's already kind of leaked out, because they've claimed that they reached out to him early in the process and they sent the details to the wrong phone number or wrong email address or some business like that. But I don't know I don't know what to think of that. But that might be true. It might not be. I don't know. But you're right. That's how they sold Campbell on. Hey, you're not our 8th option. We tried to get you in at the 3rd option, but it just didn't work out.
All right.
I think Chesney just wasn't having it, and he wanted to go somewhere where he was viewed as the guy, as the white whale instead of the bitter pill that you have to make a bitter face to swallow. So
can I ask?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Let's do this. Come on, let's keep it rolling.
You mentioned him in passing, and I think I had a couple of guys in the coaching ranks bring him up to me yesterday via text. So it's just funny you brought him up early, kind of innocuously. How good a hire is Huff? He appears to be highly thought of.
No, that's a good hire for Memphis. That's a very good hire for Memphis. He did a good job at that whole Marshall situation when they got rid of that coach that was there. I can't remember his name now, but it was Doc Holliday.
Yeah,
Doc Holliday was at Memphis, at Marshall,
and Southern Miss.
Yeah. So Doc Holliday was well liked in Marshall. So when they got rid of him, it was a tough, to win over that program for Charles Huff. He came in and he did it. Okay. Left Marshall to go to Southern Miss, and like I said, he took over the dumpster fire that Will Friend had left behind, or not Will Friend,
Will Hall.
Will Hall had left behind, and he cleaned that up in 1 year. And Southern Miss was competitive this year for the first time in probably 5 years. That's what we call instant impact. That's what I like to see is instant progression. I think Memphis made a very wise hire there. He's a good recruiter. He's a good staffer, from what we've been able to tell. That was a good hire by Memphis.
You have any more? Are you good? Or?
I'm good.
I have one more. Billy Napier to JMU. Good hire by JMU?
I think it's a decent risk. And a lot of this is risk mitigation, right?
Yeah.
Some guys aren't meant for the Power 4 level, all right? They just aren't. Billy Napier may be one of those guys, all right? Another guy that kind of fits that profile was, do you remember Jim McElwain?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Really good at Colorado State. Got hired by Florida, didn't work out there, went back to Central Michigan and had some success at Central Michigan. Okay. Some guys just aren't built for that. He was very successful at Louisiana. Okay. I think it's a decent risk by James Madison to bring him in and say, okay, recreate in Louisiana what you did, here, what you did at Louisiana. And adding on to that G5 has now kind of repelled a lot of Power 4 schools from coming in and stealing that coach away immediately, because everybody can look back and say, hey, he didn't make it at Florida. We can't hire that guy because the risk is too high.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a little self-preservation there for JMU as well. As, hey, we're tired of getting our coaches poached every other year. Let's get a guy in there who may stay here for a little while.
You know which probably appears to be a good job?
What's that?
People win at Wayne.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what is it about Tulane?
It's the UCF of Louisiana.
Is that what it is?
That's what I think.
Yeah, Tulane. That's a good job, man. There's a lot of talent down there, right? So, but you're not gonna weasel me into this. Will Hall's not gonna win at Tulane.
All right. I appreciate.
So-
I saw how you low key switched hands with the phone. You're getting tired of holding that thing. We monopolized all your time.
All right, Adam, we will let you go. We appreciate the time, the extended time, and the 8 last questions that we had for you.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Yeah, you had 7 of them. So, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. Great stuff. We will talk to you again soon.
Sounds good, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Adam.
it. Thank you.
That is Adam McCLINTOCK from.
Make sure you guys get the Patreon service. The data. Was that Big
Unbelievable.
Ten Media Days? You didn't feel good. Remember, we were just scrolling through data.
Yes. So it's his Patreon is CFB_professor. That's where you can find all of his stuff. Incredible. That's where I got all the data yesterday on Aurich. Like incredible data. If you like that interview, Matrix Analytical and their Patreon, CFB Professor, is incredible stuff there. We appreciate him giving us a ton of time and indulging all of our questions. He's got a wealth of knowledge there. We will be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, we were trying to get him lost on the baseline. I did think they would help up with him, and Rick did a good job finding him on a couple of those, and he got fouled and got himself to the line. And teams, listen, they're going to watch film and they're going to see what happened. But I'm telling you, he's going to make teams pay, and he's going to sting them at some point. And the mentality of it. I went through a year where I didn't make anything. I think I started out the year like 0 for 19 or something. And, eventually I made some and then got confident and I was off and running. So, for Burke, he can't look at this like he's shooting whatever it is from a percentage standpoint. He's got to, right now he's 0 for 0. In the next game, he's got to come out with confidence and continue to work, which he'll do. And, again, it happened with Sam today. When I looked at the box score, I was shocked that we made 10 threes. I didn't think it was that high. But, Creighton does a great job of defending the line today. They shrunk it in there a little bit more and opened up some three-point shots for our team.
Yeah, I just think as a whole, putting the entire first and second rounds on a streaming network was a miss. This sport is too good not to be on ESPN, ESPN2, ABC. I don't know what else was playing on Thursday, Friday night on these channels. I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but I feel like these volleyball games should have been. I mean, such great atmospheres, such great matchups, and I think our sport has elevated to the point where they should all be on TV, no different than March Madness for the men and the women. Volleyball should be right there with it, and so I echo those things. I watched a lot of matches back after the fact, and I just thought the crowds were incredible, the matches, the atmosphere, all those things. And so this sport and these athletes deserve to be seen.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. DB, you just want to get to Matt now since he's just been hanging out for like 20 minutes?
No.
Okay, we can wait.
No.
That's fine. You can keep waiting. It's cool.
Is Matty in here?
I think so. I think he's just been loitering.
He may like to listen to your nonsense.
Nonsense?
Yes.
Just dropping straight truth, DB.
Oh, this coaching cycle is going to be interesting.
I love it. It's I enjoy. This is a lot of fun for me. I enjoy the movement and the like machinations of all these different teams. And
how many more pressers do we have before the bowl game? Just 2?
There's one today, right?
I know.
Yeah, 11:15. So that'll
I'm trying to find
at least 2 this week and possibly.
Well, there's 2 this week.
No.
I believe so.
No, Keith sent it out. Is there, Shane?
I thought so.
So it is, and I can't read.
Well, I mean, just go ahead and give it on over. Find the email for me, and we'll see what we can do.
I just clicked off of it. No, you can have it. No, I can't find it.
It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll get some media availability today, and then
I think there's only one. I think he talks to us twice.
Avery, if you're listening, could you tell us, please? She should know. She goes down there for all of them.
I know. She's kind of smart. Gosh, where was it?
It's fine. It doesn't matter.
I wish I could read. That'd be great.
Avery says today and Friday. Thank you, Avery.
That's it before we leave, right?
When do you leave?
The 26th.
I think there's some next week, but they haven't decided when they're going to be.
It says rule today and snow on Friday.
Yeah.
Coach Snow will be interesting.
Yeah, we haven't heard a ton from him.
No, but he's running practices.
So here's my question, and
because they're back.
2 more next week. Avery says.
Oh, thanks, Ave.
You may. I don't know if you actually experienced this at all while you were there, but do you know how it typically, like, if they bring in a hire at this point, like, how much are they involved over the next few weeks?
So it just depends on kind of who it is. Like, do I want to get a lay of the land?
Yeah.
Do I want to help out? Nebraska, I think right now is using Coach Eckler to help out on defense.
Sure. I mean, he's got the linebacker experience for years and years.
Yeah. So it just kind of depends.
Yeah.
Who's coming, who's going.
So theoretically, like, Geep Wade could be like fully integrated, and
yeah, except they've got a bowl game,
right? And Coach, just for an example, and Coach Aurich could be more of an observer. Like, it doesn't have to be the same for each guy,
right?
It's like dependent on situation and
correct,
because it would make more sense not dependent on their previous stops. You've obviously got somebody who's at least capable of going through bowl practices as defensive coordinator in Phil Snow.
Yep.
Whereas Raiola's let go. You don't really have. I'm sure they've got peripheral assistance, but you don't have like an O-line coach in the room still.
Right.
So maybe that would be the difference here. I don't know. I was just curious because people keep asking me, like, are they going to coach the bowl game? I was like, I really don't know.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see who plays.
That is also interesting. I'm curious.
I mean, everybody's kind of like, oh, we're going to get blown out and we're going to give up 500 yards rushing. And I mean,
and everyone's kind of ringing, is Jalen Gramstad going to play? I don't know what TJ's hamstring looks like. I have no idea. I don't think anybody else does either, unless there was an announcement that no one told me about, which I don't think is the case. This feels like maybe we're just assuming things.
Yeah.
But I do think it's going to be super interesting who plays.
Huh.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing?
What?
Just usually, means something happened. No?
No, I'm getting intel.
Oh, okay. From me, obviously.
Yes.
It seems like.
The more you know.
Oh, we just learned we got some intel about Wyatt's origin story. He says, long story short, the man who adopted me at birth loved Cowboys and indeed named me after Wyatt Earp. There you go.
Really?
Asian Wyatt Earp.
Well, I heard somebody asked him. Was it Headley that asked him? I think he was just being funny.
I think he was, and he was accurate. You know, there you go. I was not named after Wyatt Earp or any other Cowboys that I'm aware of.
I was not named after. Gregory did come from Gregory Hines, but thank the Lord it's not my.
I was named after a cowboy. Shane, the movie.
Come back, Shane. Come back.
Yep.
I used to say that all the time. Have you ever seen that show?
No.
Yeah, it's this.
What is it?
This little blonde hair crab.
Oh,
baby.
you showed it to me. You showed it to me.
I played you that clip.
Yeah.
Shane, come back, Shane. Come back.
Shane. I think we need Morgan Freeman asking him a question. You smoke crack, don't you?
Oh, jump.
Headley says I was not being funny. I can't think of a cooler Wyatt to be named after. I can't think of another Wyatt to be named after.
Wyatt.
At all.
Wyatt. Do I know any Wyatts?
Wyatt? There's got to be an athlete named Wyatt somewhere.
Did you say what?
Wyatt? It is typically a Wyatt name.
I don't know any Wyatts except for
for some reason, is there a Wyatt Sexton? Is that a thing?
I don't know. You talking about?
He's the Wyatt Sexton was the quarterback at Florida State that went crazy in the street and took all his clothes off.
Yeah.
He was on an acid trip or something.
It had to be meth.
Could have been bath salts. It is Florida. His dad
typically people don't wear clothes in the bathtub, so it might have been.
His dad was a very, very good offensive line coach.
Yeah. He was a great offensive
from
line.
West Virginia, and then he came to
Good
Florida
call,
State.
Josh. I did him in the state finals, Wyatt, Missouri.
Oh, yeah. There you go. One-time Nebraska
God, that dude put on a show.
player. He was C2. Where's he from?
Was he Newman? Was he
Bishop Newman, right? That's C2, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just watching that guy run around. I was like, he's pretty good in space.
I just remember I can see the helmet. I can see the uniform. I'm seeing a red jersey and a silver helmet. Is that right for Newman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea who Wyatt Russell is. Who's Wyatt Russell?
Oh, he plays John Walker in some of the Captain America afterwards stuff, after
Who's
Chris
John
Evans.
Walker? The soccer coach at Nebraska?
No, the writer for
He's from
Omaha
Kingston,
World
Toronto.
Herald.
Oh, I do know that Johnny Walker.
No.
I always think Johnny Walker black.
Well, he's the Creighton
blue.
I say he's the Creighton beat writer. Should be John Walker Blue.
They have both.
Speaking
liquor
of
bottles.
Creighton, we got Matt DeMARINIS coming up next year on Hurrdat Sports Live.
As a coaching staff, we're watching film on all three. We'll have a full scouting report done for Arizona State, and then we'll have kind of the blueprints of it all done for the other two teams. And then we'll get to watch them live. If we win on Thursday, they'll play after us. So then Thursday night, normally we'll meet as a coaching staff and kind of finalize the scout. Do it with the team on Friday morning. We'll practice, and then the nice thing with this one is you have that day off in between. So we'll be ready to go on Saturday. But we don't ever do a second team with our team until the day before. That's the same in conference or tournament. So we put all of our focus into the next team, and that's Arizona State for us right now. So that's where all of our team's preparation is going.
Imagine your first dream home and the feeling of walking inside for the first time. With Centrist Federal Credit Union's First Time Home Buyers program, you are at the doorstep of bringing your vision to life. Welcome home. From your neighborhood mortgage experts, Centrist Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
I was telling Fred, I think their role players are really champions in their role. And that's a little bit harder to accomplish in this day and age because guys don't necessarily stay in one place. But, Sam Hoiberg was the difference in the game today. And I don't think, matter of fact, I know because I've known Sam a long time. Sam doesn't care if he scores. Sam doesn't care if he gets an assist. Sam just wants to win. And, I think Cale Jacobson falls into that same boat. I think they just do whatever their team needs them to do, and it's not about them. And then they understand where their bread's butter with Rink and Price is playing at a high level, and Jamarcus, compared to 2 years ago, has made really good strides. And Frager, I think, has made great strides from a senior in high school to where he is today. So I just think they have some guys that really do their job well, and it's hard to get them flustered because of that. So. If you'd have told me, Price was going to get 13 and Rink got 20, but at least had to work for it, I'd have thought it would have been a pretty competitive game. But, Sam was really the difference.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. We are joined now by the one and only Matt DeMARINIS from the White and Blue Review. Matty D, what's up, buddy?
Good to see your faces, fellas.
Good to see your face.
Been holding out on us. You've been holding out.
I do have a story that I've been holding out. I promised Damon I would tell this the next time I was on. So here we go. So during the entire saga, if you will, obviously my brother was kind of like my PR person somehow.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but he was answering all my phone calls just because he felt like it. So there were three in a row while I was either in surgery or I was either conked out from surgery in the post-op room.
Mm-hmm.
It was Greg McDermott and then you two, all in succession. So I got up to my actual room and he was like, "Hey, a bunch of people called Coach McDermott." He called him Coach McDermott. He's not Coach McDermott on my phone, but he knew who he was.
Yeah.
Because he called him Coach McDermott based on his name. The next one was Ravi, and I corrected that. I was like, "That's Ravi." And he's like, "Okay." And then he said some guy named Damon, and I was like, "Benning?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's what it was." I was like, "Hold on a second, Damon Benning?" He goes, "Yeah, some guy named Damon." And I was like, "You don't know who Damon Benning is?" Now my brother isn't like a super big time sports fan, but football is the one. Like, he is a football fan. He rocks with Michigan. He's liked Michigan since we were kids. He watched you play. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were alive in those days. And I was like, "You don't know who Damon Benning is?" He goes, "No." He's like, "You never even heard of him?" He's like, I was like, "He won a national championship. He played for Nebraska. It was, none of that rings a bell." He goes, "Nope." I was like, "Well, Damon's gonna love that because
he's classic."
Yeah, everybody knows who Damon is.
He's my favorite
my brother.
already.
So my brother not only sounds like me, he's a completely different version of me. He doesn't know who you are at all. So he's like, "Yeah, some guy named Damon." So that's who you are on my. That's who you are on my phone now. Is some guy named Damon.
Yeah,
I don't even have the last name anymore.
He sounds exactly like
he fooled both of us independently.
Isn't that funny?
Because I called and I was like,
and I didn't know you called.
Yeah, because I think I texted you right after and you had called already.
Yeah.
I called and I was like, "Oh, hey, buddy, what's up?" And he goes, "This is his brother." And I'm like, "Oh." Which, by the way, I think I've yelled at you privately for this. I'm going to yell at you publicly for it as well.
I think everybody did.
So,
except for kind-hearted Jacob.
Can I just say, first of all, I think you need to reevaluate your life priorities when the only person you tell you're going in for major surgery is Glenn Sisk because you won't be at a basketball game.
I had to tell him because I wasn't going to be at the basketball game. That's the only reason I told him.
Oh,
that's fine. I'm just saying that was the only thing that crossed your mind. You're like, "Oh, I'm going to miss this basketball game. Better tell Glenn." Not, "Oh, my friends haven't heard from me in 3 days. Maybe I should tell any of them."
Damon's on my side on this one. We don't like everybody's got problems.
I get it.
He's not the one you should be taking advice from here.
But
I would.
But yeah, I just I don't know. It was just
You have to tell me because we work together.
I wouldn't tell a soul. I would.
And it's not like I went in for major surgery. I went in for a different reason. I was feeling some type of way, and then all of a sudden it just snowballed. It wasn't like I knew what was going on. We still don't know what's going on. I have to go back on the 19th and figure it out. So like, this whole saga isn't even close to over yet. So yeah.
At least I know
it wasn't like I held out. It wasn't like I held out. And also, you guys snitched on me on the show because I have friends.
I didn't.
I know.
Nuts did.
I have childhood friends that watch your guys' show. You know what I mean? Just like I didn't put them
from me.
I didn't put them onto you. They just
so
watched
bad.
you. Yeah. So Ravi was ranting about my behavior. You know what I mean? And then I got a text message from one of them and go, "Yo, what's up with you?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what's up with me?" He's like, "Are you dying or something?" Like I just heard. I was just listening to the show and Ravi made it sound like you're in a deathbed. I go, "Oh, that." And then yeah.
Yeah.
So like I got yelled at by other people that found out from you because you snitched on the air. Yeah. So I got it from everybody.
I had your back though.
I appreciate it.
I'm not telling a soul.
That's fine. Yeah. You both be better friends. That's all I'm saying. Be better friends.
Always, Chad. He told me he was going to start out by being nice by talking about volleyball. So much for him keeping his word too.
I'm a good friend by asking what people are going through. I don't want to tell them what I'm going through. So that's how I'm a good friend. Like, hey, how are you?
You are a very good friend. I just need you to understand we care about you as much as you care about us.
Well, you look fantastic. It's good. It's good. It is good to actually see your face.
I got my Rocky Russia training beard going. So
it looks good,
sweet, man. I like it.
I don't know that the doctors would prescribe any of like the yoke carrying yet, though. So hold off on that.
Well, I got my the one thing I got this like you know what a wound vac is? You ever heard of that?
I had one attached to after my surgery, yes.
Yeah, so it's like 15, 20 pounds. I've been carrying around that for like a month and a half. So yeah,
so that's close. Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Wow. Let's start with Creighton volleyball because they have the longest winning streak in the country. Your Creighton volleyball team and they're cruising right along now.
I mean, yeah, they're doing what they do. I mean, 3 Sweet 16s in a row is, that's unprecedented, but it is kind of the bar they've raised for themselves. So they're those are their expectations. They expect to be second weekend and beyond based on, I don't know, just their trajectory, how they feel about themselves. So despite the fact that they lost, a top, Norris finished second all time in kills behind Jaylee Winters, Kendra Wade, best setter of all time in Creighton history, maybe the best player of all time in Creighton history. 3 more All-Americans in addition to those players. They plugged those holes with, kind of the right pieces and the right personalities and the right skill sets. And then Ava Martin just
going ham.
In addition to Kiara Reinhardt, everybody that needed to have a really good year in terms of the leadership that was coming back has. So it's been kind of a team that's come together because they've followed and I think we'll talk about this with another team too. They've followed the right people into battle, if you will. And those people have stepped up time and time again to have the season that they've had so far. And yeah, that's kind of why they're in the position they're in right now.
I mean, speaking of following people into battle, you kind of buried the lead here. They're also doing this with a brand new head coach.
Yeah, to an extent. Brian Rosen, he is a first-year D1 head coach, so it's not like everything's the same. And he does deserve more credit than he's probably being given for keeping it all together, pushing the right buttons. Because we've talked about this with, in the chat with DBK, it's one thing to kind of become the head coach with a staff that's still intact.
Ton of players returning.
A more seamless transition than normal. Like they didn't uproot the programs to replace those head coaches. And there's a lot of talent involved, especially, when you look at Nebraska and the expectations that they should be the national champion this year. But there's a lot of pressure in that regard too, because you have to make sure you're pressing the right buttons. You have to make sure you're making the right moves. You have to make sure when you plug and play certain players or have to remove certain players from the lineup that, they're not going to splinter the roster or splinter the locker room. So Brian Rosen and Danny Busman-Kelly both deserve a lot of credit despite the fact that a lot of the new parts of being a new head coach or a first-year head coach in a program were intact when they got there. And with Rosen, like the thing that was, easy for Creighton players to kind of swallow in terms of losing a legend like Kirsten Bernthal Booth was he recruited these players, he developed these players. He's not only developed their skills, but he's developed relationships with them so they can he can have conversations with them that go beyond volleyball, that they can just kind of trust he's doing the things that need to be done from, how you should be as the head coach at Creighton and how Kirsten was. So that transition, I think, has been something that he's, he was prepared for, which is why that was the right move to make him her replacement. But yeah, they're rolling along.
It's interesting too, Maddie, because like when this thing first started, there was a lot of curiosity on both sides, right? With just the relationship that not only Coach Cook and Kirsten had with the amongst the collab between the two, but the use as Brian comes in, he's going to do his own thing and put his own spin on it, even though he has familiarity. Same as DBK is very different from Coach Cook and put kind of her spin on it. Before we transition to basketball, because I have a couple more things I want to say about volleyball, would you rather be the fresh start, blank slate person, or leave me some bird crumbs? I just kind of get to eat it at my leisure if you're taking over a program.
That's a really good question. I guess it would depend probably if you're asking me where the program was when I'm taking it over. I think that's probably the best way I would think about it, because I think everybody involved in college athletics, especially now, is looking for, whether it's a coach or a player, anybody is looking for stability. Like there's just, because it's so fragile right now in terms of like who's doing what for what reason kind of thing. So I think when you're taking over a program, and I think now listen, there's probably no scenario where Danny Busman Kelly turns down Nebraska once that opens up, right? Like that was probably, I mean, as soon as she became a head coach, she joined that list of like, who's going to replace Cook when he retires, right? And then her taking off and turning Louisville into what she turned it into. I mean, she was number one on that list for a long time. And I think not just on the outside, like she knew it, you know what I mean? So I think she was probably really comfortable taking over that situation, because I'm not saying Cook, the writing was on the wall or anything, but he was obviously
you
tail end of his.
There was some. They had
options.
There was some maneuvering.
Sure. The Creighton one is a little different because Kirsten probably could have coached 20 more years in theory. So that one was a little bit more, this is happening. What does the next era look like? Who's ready for that? Because, the interesting part of it is not only is the staff intact for Creighton after Kirsten left, but, Angie Oxley-Barons has been Kirsten Bernthal Booth's
mainstay.
The whole time. And she's won an Assistant Coach of the Year award herself, along with Rosen. She is the kind of, if Kevin McKenna was the shot doctor back in the day for Creighton, she's the shot doctor for Creighton volleyball. She, every outside that you've ever seen that turns into a superstar at Creighton, she's the kind of the person behind the scenes that's helped them develop those repertoires that we see on the court. So it's interesting because it's like, okay, obviously if Angie's been Kirsten's number one the whole time, why isn't she the head coach? She just doesn't, like, that's just not a role she ever wants to fulfill. So that's why she's in the role she's in now. Like it's one of those situations. So Brian was a head coach before he got to Creighton, and obviously teams were pursuing him every offseason since then. And with an Assistant Coach of the Year award attached to your resume, even more teams came after him. So it was one of those things where it's like, if Kirsten is in a situation where she wants to do something different, Brian is kind of a natural progression because, like I said before, he's recruited everybody that's on that roster. There's a relationship built in there. He understands what Creighton volleyball is. He understands the standards. And like you said, he can put his own spin on things without uprooting everything Kirsten laid down foundationally. So It's an interesting dynamic. It's been fun to watch from the outside looking in, even though I get to see the inside of Creighton volleyball as well. But like the way DBK has kind of led Nebraska, I mean, just an undefeated season in this day and age in college volleyball is not easy to do, especially in that conference, especially the schedule they play. There could have been some warts there as she kind of tried to embed her personality into that team. Same thing with Rosen as he became a head coach, because he just does things a little bit differently than he did as an assistant, because now he's the guy who has to make all the decisions. It's not an input thing. It's like a final decision thing. Yeah. So to see the seasons they've had in different ways with the different variables that have been involved has been really interesting to watch from afar, and we'll see how far they can take them.
All right. Before we move on, I love our company. God bless Hurrdat. God bless Rico and Austin. I'm using their governments now because I'm.
His real name's Enrique, right?
Enrique.
Okay, there we go.
Hyphenated last name. And Sash, but of course, they cut out blurbs and they post them, and it gets imprints, and people respond. And the volleyball community was giving me a little soccer gatekeeping vibes, Maddie. We were loosely talking about, and I want to get your perspective on this because it was an important conversation, especially as I look at all the national awards, the seedings, the national seeds, who's still left. People said it was a down year in the Big Ten. Big Ten got a lot of home matches this weekend.
Yeah. The bottom was probably worse than it usually is, but it wasn't.
I'll agree there. But
the top was still full of ridiculous teams. Yeah.
I was loosely talking about conversations we were having with a couple guys that I think are pretty closely connected to volleyball, and it was the Harper Murray discussion and where she belongs, and it was hard to reset in the clip that was posted, but there were a lot of volleyball folks trying to explain to us the Harper Murray phenomenon. Safe to say we understood kind of the discussion with the Final Five and who was in the discussion, and it was more remember that? It was the why. Yeah. How did you land the plane on Nebraska spreading the wealth in terms of their prowess, in terms of who gets all the accolades versus, because I thought it was a fascinating discussion. The blurb that we tweeted out that got all the feedback didn't really do it justice.
Yeah. With Nebraska, it's really difficult because there's probably 3 and maybe 4, and you could feel pretty good about saying, oh yeah, that's the best player in the conference kind of thing, or that's one of the best players in the country.
What did Jacob say? You can't have them all? I was like,
yes, exactly.
Why not? Yeah, we can.
They sort of seem like they do.
I think the thing, especially, I think obviously politics played a role in terms of that list that we were debating, but Harper Murray, because outsides are so, they accrue statistics that you can kind of see on paper, and you can make argument. Like if you don't want to have a top 5 that's 4 Nebraska players, where you have to spread the love, as Jacob put it in the group chat, where I was like, I don't really care about that. If you're having a player of the year conversation, give me the best player. Harper for me, it's about responsibilities and what your impact is. Like, what's your ripple effect on the court of your impact? You know what I mean? So to me, there was only 2, and this is no disrespect to Andy Jackson, because Andy Jackson is phenomenal.
Oh, careful! And I feel about her.
Well, I mean, I think we feel similarly, but if you're talking player of the year, I think I would have Bergen or Harper ahead of her. No disrespect, but Harper from a receiving standpoint, and the way she comes. I mean, they do not win that Kentucky match. They have a loss on their ledger if Harper Murray doesn't turn into a superhuman force while dealing with, like, again, across the net are 2 monster outsides. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? They were killing Nebraska early in that match, and then late in the match when it was time to be decided, Harper Murray said, "I'm the best."
How about who was getting she was getting the swings too?
Yeah. No, the rips were aggressive. The ball, like, she was calling for it. She wanted it. She was ready for the moment. Like, that's the evolution of Harper Murray that we've seen.
I mean,
that's probably different than past years.
Row is a monster.
So maybe when I say Harper Murray's a little underrated, I'm not crazy.
No, rockets out of that arm, pure firepower, and then it's not like she's just a hitter either. That's the other thing. She's a complete volleyball player. Her serve is nasty. Her receiving numbers are always on point. Like she is just a complete star out there. So like that's what I was like. I have a hard time. Like you can't convince me that there are 5 better players in the Big Ten than Harper Murray. I don't think there are 5 better players in the entire country.
It was just
than Harper Murray. So like that was like I saw that list and I go, what? Why is Harper missing?
I just wanted you to reset it because like the volleyball, it was like I was like, you guys, I know what you're saying. You're kind of missing the point of the general discussion, and I get it. The engagements and our company puts them out.
And I get it. I'm not a volleyball guy, so
but you had said that too, and that wasn't in the clip.
I always said it with, I don't know as much as other people do about volleyball, but from sort of my layman's perspective, it seems like Harper Murray's underrated.
Oh yeah, the comment section was wild, Maddie. It's like it was a frenzy.
Yeah. But I mean, if Bergen's on it, then I think you're doing the right thing anyway because she's probably the most valuable player on the team.
I still think Angie Jackson's one of the best athletes on Lincoln's campus, and I've said that in our group chat too. Like she's phenomenal. Like just absolutely phenomenal.
There's innate abilities there that you cannot teach for sure. Yeah, and it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long to see it. You're like, oh, that's different. You know what I mean? That's just something that she has. Yeah, for sure.
All right. We played the opening clip with Coach Mack and him talking about, the comparison. It's made the rounds now after Sunday. You watched practice in the preseason. You have as good a feel for this team as anybody. We know kind of why he said it. Why do you think it's taken whatever time it has? If it's a long time, why do you think it's taken so long for it to manifest itself when he's implied it for a while now?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. My theory is that these. And I wondered about this in the preseason, and I even brought it up to a couple of, some of the veteran staff members. I was like, you don't really have a lot of winners on this team. And I'm not saying like guys who don't want to win. That's not what I mean by that. I'm saying there are a lot of players on this team that you have that are going to be leaned on heavily to win you ball games that have not won ball games at this level. So I was curious, like, is that a deal or not? Like, can you embed winning characteristics into players who come from programs that have not done that before? You know what I mean? Like, even Josh Dix had a hilariously, I don't know what word I want to use for it. It was just it caught me funny when he said it because I've thought it and he just said it. In terms of what Creighton is doing, because Creighton is not known for being a stickler defensive program, but they are. Like, they have standards, they have principles, they have non-negotiables, they have a way of doing things. And it was funny because someone asked him what it's like to kind of be going through a camp at Creighton and like what that entails. And he's like, well, we focus a lot more on defense than I ever have before in my career.
Yeah, that's
and
Iowa. Iowa famously under Frank guarded anyone.
Right, correct. So you have two Iowa players. One who's coming off an injury. They haven't won. They didn't win at Iowa, not to the level that Creighton's used to winning. You have Blake Harper. Low major. You have Austin Swartz, came from an absolute disaster of a freshman year at Miami. One where like habits just went completely out the window, right? So like with Creighton, it's about what you see on the floor is a lot of like, yes, they scheme, yes, they game plan, but that stuff's kind of just like quick study. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this guy does this, that guy does that. Here's how we're defending this. Here's how we're defending that. Like, it's easy to kind of retain that easier to retain that part of it than it is to embed the kind of the principles of, hey, here's why you play off 2 feet. Here's why you need to get in the paint and do this. Here's why you need to move off the ball when the ball's here. Here's why you need to cut off this guy when he cuts there. Like, that has been really difficult for players to kind of understand because that's how you win ball games, is the stuff that doesn't necessarily show up in the stat sheet, but it's just how you do things. And I think that's the main reason we're watching the version of Creighton we're watching right now, is because it's just taken longer to kind of imprint winning characteristics into players who just aren't used to being coached that way.
So, Matt, I made this analogy, I think earlier in the week. I don't remember. It might have been privately to somebody. I talk too much. I have no idea how to keep track of any of it. But
yeah, you do. You talk way too much.
It's like occupational hazard.
It is.
So I made the argument.
At least we're consistent.
Yeah, no, I'm a jerk all of the time. It's so.
He's the only guy who yelled at me out of the whole situation.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
Everyone else was like, "Oh, I get it," and he's like, "Hey, listen, the fuck,
do better." That's do
yeah.
better. It was all out of love, Maddie. I made the argument that this version of Creighton actually looks a lot like early versions in Coach Hoiberg's iteration at Nebraska, where you've got a lot of pieces that you don't necessarily mind, but they don't totally make sense as a roster
Don't be bringing
together.
Nebraska down to make your point.
I'm not. I think Coach Hoiberg's done an incredible. I think Coach Hoiberg, and I've said this, has done an incredible job of on the fly fixing that. And I actually think Nebraska looks much more like a team Coach McDermott has coached in the past. And this version of Creighton looks a lot like a team of early Nebraska iterations, where you look at it and you go, okay, I kind of like this guy, and I kind of like this guy, and I kind of like this guy, but what are they doing all together?
I mean, what you said at the end there makes sense. I don't think you remember the early iterations of Hoiberg the way I remember him, though, because there were a lot of pieces of that puzzle there were a lot of pieces that belonged to the wrong puzzle on those rosters.
That's kind of my
those teams were really, really bad. Creighton isn't that.
I get that they're not that bad, but I do think it is a similar problem. Like, I would take the players on this Creighton roster over most of the players from those early Hoiberg rosters, but I do think you are looking at guys that you're like, I don't know which puzzle this piece belongs to, but they certainly don't fit together.
You don't see the fit. You don't see the fits in terms of skill sets and stuff like that with this.
Not
roster?
really. I mean,
it's going to turn into our group chat. Let's go.
I really don't.
I see the fits. I just don't think they're all like, they just don't know how to play together yet. So and you also have some
lots of injury things. Lots of injury things. Like
you have a couple injury things. One like that people aren't ever going to talk about is Josh Townley-Thomas. But I've said from watching practice and everything, especially in the preseason.
You did tell me this early, and because I was like,
he's more valuable than people realize, especially when it comes to offensive cohesion and kind of getting guys lighting fires under guys.
Also,
that's a big miss in my opinion. I don't know how much he would be playing in these games, but I just think you're missing him in practice for sure. And I also think he could have been a valuable player at in some games that could have changed things. When you're talking about, because everybody's kind of latching on to what Max said about Hoiberg and Jacobson. And yes, it is in a way kind of a message that he wants to resonate with his group for sure. But if you're looking for guys that do the right things without giving a crap about what their stats look like on a stat sheet, they're missing guys like that. And Josh Townley-Thomas is one of them. So, I mean, he had a huge impact on the Iowa State scrimmage. I know it's a scrimmage. I know it's an exhibition. I know they didn't have Lipsy. But Creighton didn't have McAndrew or Freeman either. And when you talk about who dominated the real game, in terms of Joshua Jefferson, Josh Townley-Thomas was the guy who locked up Jefferson in that scrimmage. So, he would have made a difference this season for sure.
Quietly, Jefferson is one of the freakiest of freaks in all of college basketball, and he no national burn.
No one talks about that guy.
Listen, he is a
matchup nightmare out there.
He is a stat sheet stuffer, and there's not much Jefferson can do. He's one of the I don't even think this is hyperbole, and I'm glad you're rocking with me on this one. He's ridiculous for how little a burn he gets.
Yeah, like that. When you think about all the guys, I mean, especially because this freshman class in college basketball
is sick,
is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So there's just only so much runway for people to get praise. But I don't know, just watch Iowa State and tell me what you think is the differentiator.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah, he can do everything. There's not a thing he can't do. And then you look at how like he's going to play in the NBA for a long time because there's so many weapons in there that for him and his size and his ability to get where he wants.
Blocks, steals, deflections, offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. He scores.
And you try to like, okay, he's a facilitator now. Let's put a smaller guy on him, keep him on the perimeter. Like he'll back that guy all the way to the rim and score on him. Like he'll get to the free throw line. There's just not a way you can. No matter what you throw at him, he's got an answer to it. That's the thing. Like you can see how he like reads the game in real time and takes advantage of what his matchups are to create advantages for himself and his team. Like that. Yeah, he's unbelievable.
It was driving me crazy that everybody talked about how poor Creighton was versus kind of what Nebraska could be, especially defensively.
Defensively, I think they're legitimately good.
We disagreed on that for sure. Because you said, is Nebraska this good defensively? And I said no.
I did ask that question, didn't I?
Well, it depends on what this good means. Is it 19 points in the first half good? Because probably not. But they are legitimately a good defense.
So this was my real question, Maddie. Are you pitting it against, because obviously the upper echelon in the Big Ten is silly, right? With Purdue and Michigan and Michigan State, and I think Illinois is going to be tough. And who knows if SC is for real. But I think I saw a little of what Indiana is in its totality against the last couple of games. So I don't know about that. But is Nebraska middle of the pack good, do you think, in the Big Ten?
Yeah, I think so. Because they have a lot of winning habits. They play well together. Rink has been incredible coming off the injury. I don't know what I expected him to look like after such a long layoff, but he's clearly I just don't know what his surgery time frame was and how quickly he was able to kind of get back onto the court and do some workouts. But like that, he is way better.
I asked everybody. I'm like, did you guys get the impact? And it's, some guys, well, yeah, I covered. I don't know, man. Rink's pretty sweet.
I knew
I didn't see it.
I knew he was important.
No.
I didn't know he was like this.
He's clearly leveled up. Like
yes.
And the thing is, like I think I've seen most of the Big Ten upper echelon so far this year. I just don't know how many teams match up awesome with that type of player. So that's going to be a thing that Nebraska has to
Michigan
kind of
with that giant interchangeable.
Oh my God, they're so big. God, yeah. We were watching Gonzaga. My sister-in-law's a Gonzaga fan. We were watching that whole entire game, and it was just like, we know Gonzaga is big, physical, long, and they just like stuffed Gonzaga in a locker. Like that was. And it's crazy because they almost lost to Wake Forest. They almost lost to TCU. And it's like, what happened to this team all of a sudden? Like, they're just clicking. They have
a lot of margin for error, too. Like,
yes.
Michigan can get you with about 4 different guys on any night, and it's not going to matter. And they don't need to play well offensively either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I honestly, not to try to get some clickbait for you guys, but like I think it's going to come down to, I think Nebraska and Iowa are both a lot better than they were last year, and I think they're going to have a seeding matchup that comes up to it. I think both of them everyone makes the Big Ten tournament now, so it won't be that dramatic. But I think they're in that class of Big Ten, which is like, I think both those teams are NCAA tournament quality. Both those teams could make a run in the Big Ten tournament if they kind of just get the right path of matchups, if you will. I think there's a tier of top teams in the Big Ten that includes Michigan, Michigan State. I don't know if Illinois is on that yet, but obviously they're really, talented and highly thought of. So like, I think there's a tier with Illinois and Wisconsin that's somewhere in there. And I think Nebraska is going to see both those teams pretty soon. So we'll get a gauge of that for sure. But yeah, like Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan, I feel like is the top tier. And then I think there's a tier with like Wisconsin, Illinois, that Nebraska possibly could crack if they just kind of stay healthy and then kind of, shore some things up positionally. Because I still don't I know Jamarcus Lawrence is he's more improved than the version of that guy that we saw at Nebraska the first time. But there's also like games where Sam Hoiberg looks like the best point guard too. So it's like, it it just depends on what comes together for them and how it looks, and then how teams kind of scout them. Because can Rink win a game on his own? If another team has a really good wing that can kind of shut down Price, that's gonna determine kind of like
I'm
what
tickled
Nebraska's
everybody
ceiling
gets
might
to
be.
see the version of Price that I saw on the shoe circuit. He can put it. He's aggressive. He can put it on the deck, man.
He's nice.
He's
real
and
nice.
I'm telling you, Maddie, you'd love him because he's super competitive. Like
I don't know how he didn't get run.
He's a little.
I'm so confused by that. Like, yeah, I think I know Fran's not there, so he's not going to be able to stick it to Fran, if you will. But like, I think Iowa fans are going to be really, really upset when they see this version come into their gym room. I don't even know. They play the home and home.
Like that too. Like they have some really competitive, get after you kind of guys. I mean, that's how Frager played, and I watched him put it on Westside twice. And it's just like I sat next to Robin, and I was like, this guy is literally trying to give it to everybody that's on the court. Like that's
he plays nasty. He plays nasty. Yeah.
All right, buddy. And so just UConn and St. John in the Big East and everybody else, huh?
It's kind of funny because you're looking at I was looking at Creighton's schedule. They have 4 of the next 5 at home. You're trying to like wonder what is there a way for Creighton to find its footing before they get those teams, and it's they get Kansas State, they got to go to Xavier, then they're going to play a Marquette team that looks really, really bad right now, Utah Tech. So like 4 of the next 5 are at home, and then the roadie is at Xavier, who's kind of coming together, but they also haven't played. I don't know. They haven't played anybody who's truly going to kind of expose them too much yet. So yeah, Creighton has a chance here to kind of get some things right before St. John's and Seton Hall, Villanova. Those roadies are going to be tough because Seton Hall's a lot better this year. Villanova looks like they have their stuff together with Willard in there. I think the Big East is going to be harder than people realize because I think going in, everyone assumed it was top heavy. Like there was a tier with St. John's and UConn, then Creighton was kind of alone in that third tier. People expected good things out of Providence. They haven't necessarily lived up to that. And Marquette's fallen off, but Seton Hall's better, Villanova's better, Butler's better. Like it's not going to be an easy slog going through that. It's not just going to be like, well, beat everybody else and then coin toss St. John's UConn games. Like it's going to be a war this year in that conference because there's teams that are already surprising. There's teams that are underperforming. How it all comes together is going to be really interesting to see once they all kind of meet up in the next month.
That Marquette thing was interesting too because I should have known after watching that ugly dog fight over the weekend with Valpo, and then to watch what Wisconsin did to him. I'm like, I don't know, man. There's some questions to answer at Marquette.
I don't know how they put 76 on Wisconsin. I was like, I didn't like that. I don't know how they scored 76 on anybody watching.
I don't know. They almost gave up a C note. So.
Oh yeah, no. They give up some numbers. Yeah, they've had 2 Big Ten games so far, and yeah, they've had triple digits dropped on them, both of them pretty much. That's rough.
That is our guy, Matt DeMARINIS from the White and Blue Review. Matt, it's good to see your bright and shining face. Good talking to you, buddy.
Good to talk to you guys.
All right, Chill. Thanks.
That is Matt DeMARINIS.
Love that dude.
From the White and Blue Review, one of our favorites.
Yes.
Yeah.
And be nicer.
I'm always nice to him.
But be lecturing people.
Well, listen, I lecture out of love.
You're rational. Yes, you're like a bent light switch cover. It's just warped.
You know who I don't lecture? People I don't give a damn about.
There you go with the old philosophy again.
I'm just saying. I'm not wasting my energy on that.
Shane, noted.
Yeah,
I'm jotting it down right now.
That's why I lecture Shane all the time.
Weird, tough.
We will be right back. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, we were trying to get him lost on the baseline. I did think they would help up with him, and Rink did a good job finding him on a couple of those, and he got fouled and got himself to the line. And teams, listen, they're going to watch film and they're going to see what happened. But I'm telling you, he's going to make teams pay, and he's going to sting them at some point. And the mentality of it. I went through a year where I didn't make anything. I think I started out the year like 0 for 19 or something. And, eventually I made some and then got confident
and I was off and running. So, for Burke, he can't look at this like he's shooting whatever it is from a percentage standpoint. He's got to, right now he's 0 for 0. In the next game, he's got to come out with confidence and continue to work, which he'll do. And, again, it happened with Sam today. When I looked at the box score, I was shocked that we made 10 threes. I didn't think it was that high. But, Creighton does a great job of defending the line today. They shrunk it in there a little bit more and opened up some three-point shots for our team.
Yeah, I just think as a whole, putting the entire first and second rounds on a streaming network was a miss. This sport is too good not to be on ESPN, ESPN2, ABC. I don't know what else was playing on Thursday, Friday night on these channels. I honestly don't know the answer to that question, but I feel like these volleyball games should have been. I mean, such great atmospheres, such great matchups, and I think our sport has elevated to the point where they should all be on TV, no different than March Madness for the men and the women. Volleyball should be right there with it, and so I echo those things. I watched a lot of matches back after the fact, and I just thought the crowds were incredible, the matches, the atmosphere, all those things, and so this sport and these athletes deserve to be seen.
We're in the neighborhood, just down the street. With a wide variety of home equity products to help you create a relaxing oasis. So you can kick back and relax in comfort. Centris Federal Credit Union. We are where you are.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Centris Federal Credit Union. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill, reminding you, if you are trying to buy that first home, Centris has you covered with their My First Home program. They've got financing up to 105% with no private mortgage insurance required to help you get on your way to purchasing your first home. Plus, they've got a local team of experts to help you navigate the whole experience. If you've never done it before, or maybe even if you have, it can be pretty complicated. They can help you out. Go to centrusfcu.org to get started. Subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions applied. Federally insured by NCUA and an equal housing lender.
Did you hop in that volleyball tweet stream, text strand?
No, I read them all, but I
felt like social media. I was like, wow, you guys.
I don't generally have a ton to add because you guys get pretty in depth.
No, I just meant like if you read like Twitter.
Oh yeah, I read. So I thought you meant our group chat.
It gets so misrepresented with just the clips that get pumped out. And there's one dude. It's not even a volleyball thing. He's a football guy, an alleged Nebraska fan. I refuse to even. He will never, ever, ever, ever get a response from me.
Yeah,
I don't even know why he tries.
I think there's
It's just like you can't rationalize with irrational people.
I think there was a couple of people that really kind of derailed that whole conversation. Not that we have any experience with that here, but I think it can really change.
None. We have zero experience.
The dynamic, because like the clip in and of itself, I understand it's very hard to provide, especially the way we talk. It's very hard to provide good context in under 3 minutes because we're sort of very stream of consciousness is the kind way to put it. And that's both of us. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. That's our collective ridiculousness that kind of contributes to that. So I understand the challenge that our team has trying to put out social clips. But
they know what they're doing. They're like, we're going to make these guys uncomfortable. They know, man. They're just good at it.
I think there's also, for the most part, in and of itself, a lot of those clips are fairly innocuous until somebody decides to be a jerk. And then it happens.
There's a lot of that.
And listen, as somebody who frequently decides to be a jerk, I get it. Right?
I don't.
So, like, I'm not hating on that. It's just
like sometimes I just want to say, like, what's the point? Did you just want me to know that?
So I do. That's what I've started doing, and it kind of takes the wind out of people's sails a little bit. Where I'm just like, hey, what would you like to accomplish here?
Sometimes I don't know.
And most of them have no idea.
Want to be heard.
That's generally my. It's like, okay,
social media works though, isn't it?
You've been heard. Congratulations.
Who hurt you?
Well done.
By the way,
yeah.
How was I know you got on me about some old made cheesesteak, but how was the cold egg?
I don't love cold egg. You know, it's not my favorite.
You finished that sandwich.
I did. You know, I got to eat breakfast. You know, it's got to.
Better than Little Debbie Christmas treats.
It wasn't, to be clear.
It wasn't?
No, Little Debbie Christmas treats are elite. What are we talking about?
Over the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich? That's the most moronic thing I've heard, and you say it a crazy thing every day.
Certainly better by the time it was cold. Like by the time the
Are
sandwich.
You really trying to make the case that a Little Debbie Christmas tree snack cake is better than a bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast sandwich?
You can't say A. It was better than that bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. There's a difference. Is it better than a good bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich? Probably not. But it was better than that bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Is the Little Debbie snack, has it ever been bad?
No. Little Debbie snacks are
so
like
it's consistent.
Yeah, they're undefeated.
Well,
No, but I mean, I agree. You can't. I mean, anything with egg and stuff is probably better than a little.
No,
Debbie
listen,
snack.
Christmas tree cake, oatmeal cream pie.
But you could have a bad one there, here and there.
What is going on?
Listen, it was fine when it was warm. The nature of the job, unless I get here way earlier than I'm going to, is I'm going to have to eat it sort of in stages throughout the show. That's part of why I do bring the little prepackaged things. They're going to taste the same at 7 o'clock as they do at 9, right? This did not taste the same at 9 o'clock. It was worse. I would also like to point out major difference between 2 hours sitting right here, that is still well within the food safety zone, and 2 days sitting on your counter. And also, my stomach doesn't hurt now.
It was 1.5 days, to be honest.
You told me to. What am I supposed to do with that?
The sun had come up once.
Okay. How many hours are we talking here?
Well, 36 maybe.
Okay.
38.
40, 45.
Should we get to my man, Derek?
47 and a half. Not 2 days, Ravi. Not 2 days. Let's get to Derek in Alliance. He's always got good calls.
A lot of technicalities going on this morning.
A lot of, what are you saying?
Semantics police. D, what's up, buddy?
Let's get to Derek. What's up, Derek?
Hey, first of all, I got to shout out the Alliance Unified Bowling team. They took second place in Class B. So
let's go.
We're doing good things over here in Alliance.
Any turkeys?
Don't know if they had any turkeys. Just was following along from the old work. So it's always good to see a team do well from the west side of the state.
Exactly. Especially I'm big unified sports guy, so let's get it.
I one take in the question for you.
Okay.
This is always my favorite week of the year when the Huskers beat Creighton in basketball, but I feel like it was a little bit like when you go to a superhero movie where they don't make the villain good enough, and it's just kind of a letdown at the end. Once we were up,
I actually
we were
got
up
that
like
vibe from a lot of
15-2.
Nebraska fans this year.
Yeah, we're up they scored 2 points in the first 8 minutes of the game, so it was difficult to. I felt like we kind of just cruised after that, which I'm not complaining about. I'm just noting it wasn't as exciting as it could be, so I'm going to have Creighton hold up their end of the bargain.
It's less fun for you or for anybody, right? When the team, like, I'm sure Nebraska fans enjoyed beating the Creighton team that went to the Elite Eight much more than they will enjoy this year's win, right? Is that fair?
No,
oh, for sure.
No, wait a minute. Wait, what are we doing?
No,
is this a rivalry or not?
Yeah.
Oh no, I agree.
So who's apologizing if a team doesn't play well?
Nobody's apologizing, but it doesn't feel the same.
Oh, okay. What, really?
Listen, that's true. There's years when a team you hate is just not good.
So you think Iowa feels different about 40-16 this year than they did in 2015?
Well, they haven't really played a good Nebraska team in a while, so I don't know.
Wow. Wow.
Am I wrong?
No, you're just an idiot.
Because I'm right? Yes. Okay.
Next. Sorry, Derek. We're just having a couples moment.
No, that's all right.
Do you think Nebraska felt as good about breaking the Wisconsin streak last year as if they had played a good Wisconsin team and beat their head in?
Yeah, I think it's good to not lose to Wisconsin.
I think it is also good to not lose to Wisconsin. I think it's better to beat a good Wisconsin team.
Derek, so I'm a huge Mac Creighton guy, so this doesn't really pertain to me, but if you hate Creighton, what difference does it make?
No, I think it's just a feeling where you're like, I'm excited to see a battle here, and then if it doesn't materialize, then you don't have to push yourself if you're let me think, it's kind of like watching Bud Crawford before he got all these big fights at the end of his career, where he's like, I know he's going to beat this guy. I'm still happy he's going to beat it, but I don't have that feeling where I'm like, I don't know if he's going to win.
And also beating Spence and beating
Canelo.
Beating Spence and beating Canelo felt better than beating everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't know, you two.
I'm just saying, beating Spence and beating the amount of Omaha chess beating I was doing after Spence and Canelo is off the charts compared to every other win.
So when Creighton was going to tournaments and beating bad Nebraska teams, you think Creighton was like, oh man, I wish Nebraska was better in Coach Hoiberg's early tenure? What are we doing?
You know the Nebraska win that I enjoy, or the Creighton win against Nebraska that I enjoyed the most, was the one where they beat their head in when both teams made the NCAA tournament in Doug's senior year. That was my favorite one.
I don't get it.
Because that was a good Nebraska team, so it actually meant something.
All right.
Beating the crap. I mean, listen, maybe Creighton ends up being, maybe they figure it out, end up being good this year, and I bet Nebraska fans will feel way better than if this is a Nebraska team or a Creighton team that ends up missing the NCAA tournament or the NIT.
All right. What else you got for me, Derek?
I mean, I don't feel that good about agreeing with Ravi either. So I mean,
I feel like I need a shower.
No one does, but here we are. Somehow it happens a lot.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
All right. Here's my question. I watched Indiana play some pretty good 4-2-5 against Ohio State. I was very impressed by the defense. Do you think that calling the base defense 4-2-5 or 3-3-5 or whatever, I'm mostly focusing on the 5, is that a nod towards everyone playing 11 personnel instead of coming out with 2 tight ends and 2 running backs? And then if you're the defensive coordinator, how do you determine that if you call it your base, does that mean you're going to play it against 2 tight ends and 2 running backs? Or are you just saying everybody's in 11, I may as well call my nickel the base?
So that's a really good question. I think base is what you play the most, right? So if I said, hey, we're a base 4-2-5 team, that means you're going to play 4 down linemen, 2 natural linebackers, 5 defensive backs. Now, dime, you're going to probably add another defensive back, but you're no longer playing base. So, everybody was making fun of, like, did Nebraska play 3 defensive linemen on the goal line? And, yeah, they did, because what I saw signaled in was, or what the guys confirmed was, base was called. So that means their base is a 3-3-5, so they look like they were in a base defense. So base just means what you play the most, what your system is predicated around, Derek. And nickel is something different. Dime is something different. Now, nickel for them, if nickel in theory just means 1 more DB and not just 5, it may be playing like a 4-1-6. And dime may be 2 more defensive backs. It just depends on how coaches like to utilize the verbiage. Nickel just means 1 more than 4, but we came up with nickel when everybody was only playing 4 defensive backs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's where it came from.
Okay. So if you're calling the defense, are you going to try to match up out of, if you call base 4-2-5, are you going to try to match up out of that if they're not in the 11 personnel on offense?
So it depends.
Or are you going to roll with your?
It depends on the it depends on the coordinator, but like for me, if the only time I would maybe get out of base and I couldn't align to it would be if somebody went like double tights or extra linemen or short yardage. Like sometimes we would get in goal line, or we would get in like a bear front, and we would try to use the same personnel. We would just line up different to it. If we needed to bring in different personnel, we called it something different. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like if I'm in a 3-4 and they come out in 2 tight ends, I'd like for my outside linebackers to be able to play on the line of scrimmage over tight ends. Right? Yeah. I wouldn't have to take them off the field, ideally, but it just depends on if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the 4-2-5 personally, but I also like a 3 front too. I mean, we coach a 3 front at our high school, so I don't really care.
But how do you ever stop the run with a 3 front, DB?
Attitude.
Oh, okay.
I do like. I think if you're only going to use 2 true linebackers, like off ball,
not edge guys.
I mean, that Nebraska needs. That's where they have a little bit of a void too, right? It's playing 2 linebackers is easier than finding 3 right now. You know what I mean? Until the roster comes around. I mean, Merritt and some of these guys, Christian, like these guys are coming, but to get 2 guys ready is a lot easier than 3. And I think you have a lot more natural forefront defensive ends on your roster potentially.
Yeah. I think that looks good to me. So I'm excited about the defense. I think we'll figure something out.
Yeah, as long as they play hard and I'm cool.
It's exciting.
Start there. I appreciate the call.
Play hard, play fast, play free.
All right.
Thanks, Derek. I still can't believe you want me to apologize.
I'm not. No. You're changing the words here.
Oh, sorry.
That's different. I'm not asking anybody to apologize for anything. If I'm a Nebraska basketball fan right now, I'm not apologizing for beating Creighton 3 of the last 4 years. I'm not apologizing for any of that. What I'm saying is not all victories over rivals feel the same.
Okay.
And I could take it from the other side as when Creighton beats Nebraska, not all losses feel the same either to me. Now, maybe I'm out there on an island all by myself, and that's fine.
Would you be Skipper or Gilligan? Who would you be?
I feel like more of a Gilligan guy myself.
Kind of Thurston Howell.
You know,
Mate, you give me some Thurston Howell vibes.
I don't know who that is.
Well, he's the rich guy.
He's the old rich guy. He probably
With
owned
the sailboat.
He probably owned the boat. Yeah.
Like there's also
And he said things like Lovey. You strike me as somebody that would say Lovey.
Like Smith?
Lovey.
Lovey Smith?
No. Never mind.
He had a really good beard for a while, and then he
You
shaved
didn't watch
it.
Gilligan's Island?
No.
I think he had
Dude,
doc
they were
shoes.
reboots. I wasn't born when it was out either. But they have these things called, like
reruns.
Yes.
He had the hat. And he
Not
had
reboots.
I think he had doc shoes. So I
I
mean,
think it's syndication is what we like to call it.
Probably wore capris.
Capris.
There you go, Mr. Semantics.
I'm just saying, you want to get semantic. Never mind. No, I don't.
What semantics means is
I think people are crazy if they're trying to convince themselves that every victory against the team, like beating the Yankees in 2004, felt a hell of a lot different than it feels now.
Okay. I just don't. I want to be careful that we don't apologize for what Creighton wasn't.
Those are
when
different.
Nebraska
To me,
was.
those are different things.
Because that's all I keep hearing about after this game was played is about what Creighton wasn't.
No, that's fine. Listen, to me, those are different things. There's no apologizing for any wins of any kind, right?
Can I ask you something?
can
'Cause
start there.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Relative to their history.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Relative to their history. Who looked more like who looked less like what they have been historically? Relative to their basketball history on Saturday.
I would say Creighton.
Because Nebraska's been a perennial top 25 team?
Not perennial top 25.
Has Creighton ever been bad?
Not a lot.
Has Creighton ever looked disjointed?
So that's where I'm getting this. This is the most disjointed I feel like Creighton's looked in a very long time.
Since Mac lost, 5 or 6 in a row a couple years ago?
Yeah. Even then, though, you're looking at so that was then they went to Maui, right?
Yeah.
They had stretches in Maui where they looked really good against really good teams.
So you weren't convinced that Creighton was kind of showing flashes of coming back as a cohesive unit the last handful of games?
The only time I thought they looked really good was the first half against Oregon. That's the only time all year. I said that before the game. The only time all year I think Creighton's looked really good is the first half against Oregon.
Okay.
I think this is the most disjointed Creighton, even when they haven't been as good. Like you mentioned
because you could make the case if you're really looking at like true form to character. Nebraska looking like a top 25 program is way more out of pocket than Creighton looking like they're trying to find themselves offensively.
I think the difference here is even when Creighton's been trying to find themselves, because it's not just offensively for me. They look disjointed in every facet of the game.
Yeah, but I think basketball people can understand the transition is going to take some time after losing a 6-year, 4-time defensive player of the year.
I get that. I think part of the issue for me is I don't see where this gets fixed. Like, I don't see the end game of where this looks like they need it to. That, to me, is the biggest difference. Even in other issues where it's been, hey, 6-game losing streak, Kalkbrenner's got mono, whatever, all these other things. You say, I know what it's supposed to look like, and I can kind of see how they get there. I don't even know if they know what they want it to look like right now. And if they've got the pieces to try and get it there, if they do. I understand that Nebraska historically has not looked like a top 25 program. The last few years, it has been building to being a much more cohesive team that makes sense with everybody in certain roles. So recent history, I think Nebraska, or it looks more like they have, even if they're a better version of that. Recent history, I think Creighton looks very far departed from what they have, even pre-Kalkbrenner.
All right.
Fair?
Sure.
Sure?
I like the vantage point.
Listen, we can try and do this again tomorrow.
Think we should come back.
Let's see what happens. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.